What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another Blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto neglected by family? Dragon Summoner. If you enjoy this what if, then please like, share and do comment. And also check out our Patreon page. So let's start the story.
Chapter 1. 5 years after the calamity that nearly erased the village, the world had moved on. The people laughed again. Missions resumed. Children played in the streets, and legends were quietly rewritten. They spoke of heroes of brilliance, sacrifice, and destiny. But no one ever spoke of the one they left behind. Naruto ran. Branches whipped against his arms, thorns clawed at his skin, but he didn't slow down. He couldn't. Not when the sound of celebration still echoed in his ears. Not when his chest felt like it was tearing itself apart. They didn't even notice. The laughter, the praise, the pride in their voices, none of it had been for him. Earlier that evening, the Namikaze estate had been alive with warmth, lanterns glowing, voices overlapping, gifts stacked high. But Naruto remembered something else, the empty space where his name should have been. The way conversations shifted around him as if he were just background noise. His siblings stood at the center of it all, admired, guided, chosen, and him. He had stood there long enough to realize something cold and irreversible. I don't belong there. The forest swallowed him whole, dark. Silent, unforgiving, perfect, Naruto stumbled to a stop only when his legs gave out beneath him. His breathing came in sharp bursts, his fingers digging into the dirt. For a moment he just stayed there, broken, then. A faint glow flickered somewhere ahead. Curiosity dragged him forward. Step by step, the darkness gave way to a cavern hidden beneath tangled roots and stone. Inside, the air shifted, cool, ancient, alive. At the center of the cave was a still pool of water, and surrounding it, 6 blades driven deep into the ground like silent guardians. Each one radiated something heavy, something dangerous. Naruto's eyes locked onto a weathered stone marker nearby. He stepped closer, read it, and whispered the name etched into it, the moment the words left his lips. The cave responded, the blades trembled, light surged, and the air twisted violently. A figure emerged, not summoned, not alive, but present. A man stood before him, one eye hidden behind a patch, the other sharp enough to cut through bone. His presence alone made the cave feel smaller. He studied Naruto like one would study a weapon, not yet forged, but dangerous nonetheless. You shouldn't be here, kid. Naruto didn't flinch, didn't look away. There's nowhere else to go. Something shifted in the man's gaze, not pity, recognition. What followed wasn't a conversation, it was an unraveling. Naruto didn't beg, didn't exaggerate, he simply told the truth. Every ignored moment, every silent rejection, every time he realized he was never going to be chosen. When he finished, the cave fell silent again. The man exhaled slowly. So they gave everything away and forgot the one who would have understood it all. Naruto clenched his fists. I don't need them anymore. The man's lips curled slightly. Good. He stepped forward, the pressure in the cave intensified. If you stay here, your life ends the same way it's been going. A pause, then. But if you train under me, everything changes. Naruto's heartbeat quickened. Why me? The man's visible eye gleamed, because I've seen that look before. A faint smirk in a monster the world couldn't control. Naruto didn't hesitate. Teach me. Time lost meaning after that. Pain became routine, silence became discipline, and weakness became something Naruto learned to kill within himself. Months passed, then more. The boy who once ran from a celebration now stood alone in a cave filled with steel and echoes. His body hardened, his movements sharpened, his eyes lost something and gained something far more dangerous. On the morning of the academy graduation, Naruto stood at the cave entrance. Waiting, the man leaned against the stone wall, watching him. You've changed. Naruto didn't respond. Good. The man stepped forward holding out 3 things, a blade, a set of dark, battle-worn clothing, and an eye patch. Take them. Naruto accepted without question. What happens now? He asked for the first time. The man didn't answer immediately. Now. A faint chuckle. Now you return to a world that already decided what you are. Naruto tied the eye patch into place. Then I'll make them regret it. The man's expression softened for a fraction of a second. That's the spirit. And then, he began to fade. Naruto froze. Wait. Don't get sentimental, kid. Oh. The voice echoed thinner now. You're not alone. The cave dimmed. Not anymore. Silence. Naruto stood there for a long time, then turned. and walked back toward the village. The academy fell quiet the moment he entered, not because they recognized him, but because they didn't. The way he walked, the way he carried himself, the way his eyes no longer searched for approval. Sasuke smirked, Sakura scoffed, Uruka hesitated, his siblings watched confused, uncertain. The match ended before anyone understood what had happened. A single movement, a single strike, and the prodigy of the class was already on the ground. Silence followed, then whispers, then doubt. Naruto didn't react, didn't celebrate, didn't even look back. That night, while the village dealt with chaos, the stolen scroll, the rising panic, the shifting tension, Naruto walked back into the forest, not as the boy who ran, but as something else entirely, and deep within the shadows. Something waited for him. A creature lunged, massive, brutal, unnatural. Its roar shook the trees, but Naruto didn't move back. He stepped forward, steel flashed, blood sprayed, and the forest echoed with something far more terrifying than a beast's scream. Naruto's laughter, hidden in the darkness. Kushina arrived, and what she saw made her heart stop. Her son stood surrounded by blood, a blade in his hand, a monster at his feet, and a smile that didn't belong to a child. But the most horrifying part wasn't the battlefield, wasn't the blood. It was Naruto's eyes. They weren't empty anymore. They were hungry. Kushina's breath caught in her throat. Naruto slowly turned his head, and his gaze met hers. For a single, fragile second, something flickered behind those eyes, something human. Then it vanished, replaced by something colder, sharper, unfamiliar. Naruto. Her voice trembled, barely louder than the rustling leaves. He didn't answer, didn't smile, didn't react the way a child should when seeing his mother. Instead, he tilted his head slightly, as if observing her, weighing her, like she was just another variable. Behind him, the corpse of the monstrous creature collapsed with a wet thud. Blood soaked into the forest floor. Naruto exhaled slowly, rolling his shoulder as if shaking off nothing more than mild fatigue. "You shouldn't be here," he said flatly, no warmth, no hesitation. Kushina stepped forward anyway. "I've been looking for you." "Why?" The question cut through her, not loud, not angry, just empty. She froze. Because you're my son." "Silence, then." Naruto laughed, not loudly, not wildly, just enough to make the air feel wrong. "Now I am." The words hit harder than any blade. Kushina staggered back a step, her heart twisting painfully. "I made mistakes," she said, forcing the words out, "but we can fix this." "Fix?" Naruto repeated, almost curious. He took a step forward, and for the first time, Kushina felt it, that pressure, that weight in the air. It wasn't chakra she recognized. It wasn't anything she should recognize. You don't fix something you never tried to keep. Oh. Before she could respond, a yellow flash split the forest. Minato Namikaze appeared. ANBU shadows followed, masks, blades, silence. The Hokage's eyes scanned the scene in an instant, the blood, the destruction, the corpse. Then locked onto Naruto. Naruto. There was relief in his voice, but also tension, calculation. Naruto's gaze shifted for a brief moment. The forest felt like a battlefield waiting for a signal. "You're late," Naruto said. Minato frowned slightly. "We detected a disturbance. Mizuki stole a forbidden scroll." "He's dead." Naruto's voice cut in without emotion. A pause. "What?" Naruto jerked his chin toward the mutilated body. "Experiment gone wrong." He tried to trade the scroll. The ANBU moved immediately, inspecting the remains. One of them stiffened. "It's him." Another voice, low and cautious. He was enhanced. This wasn't a normal confrontation. Minato's eyes narrowed, then, "Naruto, tell me exactly what happened." Naruto looked at him, really looked, and for the first time, Minato felt something he hadn't expected. Not distance, not anger, but something far worse, disconnection. "It's simple," Naruto said. "He attacked. I killed him." The way he said it. No hesitation, no justification, no remorse. Kushina's hands trembled. "You're hurt." Naruto glanced down at himself briefly, as if only now noticing the blood. "It's not mine." Silence spread again, heavy, unstable. From the shadows, one ANBU stepped forward. "Hokage-sama, this level of combat." "I know." Minato's voice was calm, too calm. He stepped closer to Naruto, careful, measured. "Where did you learn this?" Naruto's visible eye gleamed faintly under the eye patch's shadow. "Does it matter?" Minato didn't answer immediately, because it did. It mattered more than anything. You've been gone for a long time, Minato said instead. Your family has been worried. A lie, a necessary one, but Naruto heard it anyway. No, Naruto replied, you were. The air shifted again, sharper this time. Even the ANBU adjusted their stance. Kushina stepped forward desperately. Please, just come home. Naruto turned his head slightly, looking past them, toward the village, the place he once chased, the place that never turned back. That place isn't mine anymore. Lightning cracked across the sky. Thunder rolled through the forest. Minato's voice hardened just a fraction. You're still a shinobi of this village. Naruto smirked faintly. Am I? The question lingered unanswered, then. He stepped back one step, but it felt like distance was being carved between them permanently. I'll attend the team assignments tomorrow, Naruto said calmly, as expected. A pause, don't mistake that for loyalty. Kushina's chest tightened, then what is it? Naruto's expression didn't change, curiosity. The wind picked up, leaves scattered, the forest groaned, and then he vanished, not in a flash like Minato, not with smoke like a jutsu, but like he was never fully there to begin with. Silence. Kushina dropped to her knees. What did we do to him? Minato didn't answer. Because, for once, he didn't have one high above the trees. Hidden in the darkness. Naruto stood on a branch, looking down at the village lights. His hand rested on the sword at his side, his breathing steady, his thoughts. Unreadable, this world. Let's see how long it takes before it breaks, far away. Deep beneath Konoha. Something ancient stirred, a presence, a chakra, wild, watching, and for the first time in years. The Ninetales opened its eyes. So, you've finally shown yourself.
Everything has changed. The Naruto we knew is gone. In his place stands someone colder, sharper, and far more dangerous. He outplayed us Chuunin, manipulated the entire test, and did not even break a sweat. But that's not the scariest part. There is something inside him now, something even the Nine Tails has scared to notice. A power that does not belong to Konoha or anyone. And the question is Naruto still fighting for the village? Or is he about to become its greatest threat? What do you think happens next? Because in the next chapter, things are going to get a lot darker.
Chapter. The doors of the Hokage tower closed with a dull echo. Inside, the air felt heavier than usual, not because of the reports, not because of Mizuki's betrayal, but because of the boy standing in the center of the room. Naruto didn't lean, didn't fidget, didn't even look remotely concerned. He stood there like someone who had already calculated the outcome of this conversation and found it boring. And that's everything, Naruto said flatly, glancing toward the window instead of the Hokage. So if we're done, I'd rather not waste more time. Silence followed, long enough to be uncomfortable. Minato studied him carefully, every movement, every breath, every pause. This wasn't just his son anymore. That realization settled deep. You encountered Mizuki, Minato said slowly, his voice controlled. You followed him. You engaged 3 hostile shinobi and eliminated them. Naruto shrugged faintly. They tried to kill me. Kushina flinched at how casually he said it. No anger, no fear, just fact and the scroll. Minato pressed. Naruto's gaze flickered for a moment, then. Saifu. Another silence, different this time, heavier. Minato exhaled. You understand the severity of what happened tonight. Naruto finally looked at him, really looked, and for a split second. Minato felt like he was the one being evaluated. I understand efficiency, Naruto replied. That answer lingered in the room like a blade left unsheathed. Kushina stepped forward. Why didn't you call for backup? Why didn't you? Because I didn't need it. The interruption was immediate, clean, final. Something in Kushina's expression cracked. Minato raised a hand slightly, stopping her before she could respond. You may go for now, he said, a pause. But this isn't over, Naruto. Naruto turned without hesitation. It never is. And then, he disappeared, not like a body flicker, not like any academy-level technique. It wasn't speed, it was absence. One moment he was there. The next. Nothing, the room froze. Kushina's eyes widened. Minato. I didn't teach him that. The words came out quieter than expected. An ANBU operative shifted slightly in the shadows. There was no chakra spike consistent with standard movement techniques. Minato's gaze hardened. Outside the window, a lone crow perched on the railing, watching, then, with a soft puff, it vanished. Naruto's apartment. A flicker of light split the darkness. Naruto stepped into the room like he had simply walked through a door no one else could see. He rolled his neck slightly. Their faces. A faint smirk tugged at his lips, almost worth the trouble. Then, a sharp pulse hit his chest. Naruto paused. His hand instinctively moved toward his ribs. The faint glow beneath his skin pulsed once, then faded. He exhaled slowly. Not now. Without another thought, he dropped onto the bed, eyes closing, but even in rest, his body didn't relax. Morning, academy classroom. Naruto arrived before anyone else. Of course he did. He sat silently, one leg over the other, eyes half-lidded as sunlight filtered through the windows, watching, waiting, one by one. They entered. Shikamaru Nara, hands in pockets, already bored. Choji Kimichi chewing without pause. Shino Burame unreadable behind dark lenses. Hinata Hyuga quieter than before but steadier. Kiba Inuzuka loud, confident, restless. Sasuke Uchiha carrying silence like armor. Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka already arguing before sitting down. Naruto watched them all, not as classmates, as variables, then. The door opened again. Narumi, Naruko, Kenzo. Naruko's eyes immediately searched the room and found him. Nick-san. Naruto looked away. The argument escalated behind him, voices rising, tension building. Annoying, loud, pointless. Naruto's fingers tapped the desk once, twice, then. He slammed his hand down. The sound cracked through the room like thunder. Enough. Silence followed instantly. His gaze swept across them. Cold, sharp, unforgiving. Sit down or leave, I don't care which. No one argued, not this time. Even Sasuke said nothing. The shift was subtle, but undeniable. Uruka entered shortly after, pride in his eyes, hope in his voice. Teams were announced, names paired, futures decided. Naruto barely listened, until Team 11. His attention sharpened. Narumi, Naruko, Kenzo, Naruto. A pause under Kushina Uzumaki and Kakashi headache. Naruto leaned back slightly, a slow exhale escaping him. Of course. Across the room. Naruko smiled, Kenzo smirked, Narumi remained composed. Naruto closed his eyes. How predictable. Training ground, rooftop. Introductions came and went, words filled the air, dreams, goals, lies, half-truths, when it was Naruto's turn. He didn't stand, didn't perform. Name's Naruto. A pause. The rest doesn't concern you. Kushina's expression tightened. Naruto looked down. Kakashi watched closely, very closely. Tomorrow, Kakashi said lazily, your real test begins. Naruto didn't react because he already knew. Training ground 7 the next day. The wind carried tension through the trees. Kushina paced. Kakashi read. The genin hid. Naruto lay on a branch above them all, watching, waiting, then. He moved, not toward the bells, not toward Kakashi, but toward something else entirely. His hand slipped into Kakashi's pouch unnoticed. Effortless, clean, by the time anyone realized. It was already too late. Naruto sat on the branch again, holding the book, smirking, interesting taste. Kakashi froze. What followed wasn't a fight, it was control, manipulation, prediction. Naruto didn't take the bells, he created an opening and someone else took them. Naruto stood there, breathing hard, bells in hand, eyes wide. I did it. Naruto looked down at her for a brief moment. Something almost resembling approval passed through his gaze. Good. Kakashi's eye curved. You pass. But his mind was elsewhere. That wasn't teamwork, that was orchestration. 3 weeks later, Mission Hall. The team had adapted, improved, stabilized, but Naruto remained separate. Even now, as the infamous cat struggled in someone else's arms. He stood apart, watching, analyzing, when the mission ended. And the next one was offered. Kenzo stepped forward, frustration spilling over. We're not children. Naruto said nothing until a new presence entered, an old man, worn, smelling of alcohol, eyes sharper than he pretended. He insulted them, mocked them, doubted them. Naruto smiled, then stepped forward. You shouldn't drink alone. The man blinked. What? Naruto took the bottle from his hand, took a slow drink, and handed it back. It ruins the experience. Silence. Kakashi frowned slightly. Kushina watched carefully, because something about that moment didn't feel casual, it felt intentional. The laughter echoed, low, ancient, unseen. Naruto's steps never faltered, but something inside him shifted, not pain, not fear, recognition. By the time the others snapped out of their daze, the moment had already passed, like it never happened. Be at the gate, 8:30, Kakashi said, voice steady, but his eye lingered on Naruto just a second longer than necessary. Naruto noticed, of course he did, Konoha Gate's morning. They gathered beneath the massive wooden archway, the symbol of the village looming behind them like a silent witness. Narumi stood composed, Naruto fidgeted slightly, Kenzo looked irritated already, Tazuna reeked of alcohol, Naruto still, watching, and then Kakashi appeared on time. That alone was unsettling. Kushina stood beside him, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Naruto's gaze flickered between them. Then forward again, so this is how it starts. They moved out, the road to wave. Formation was instinctive. Naruto took point. Narumi and Naruto flanked. Kenzo guarded the rear. The Jonin stayed back, standard, predictable, safe, too safe. Naruto's eyes drifted briefly to the side of the road, a puddle, small, still, wrong. He said nothing, because he wanted to see. The attack came instantly. Chains snapped through the air, steel screamed, and in the next second, Kakashi and Kushina were torn apart, or so it seemed. Naruto gasped, Kenzo moved, Narumi reacted, Naruto didn't. Two attackers emerged fast, coordinated, trained, but sloppy, desperate. Kenzo struck first, breaking their rhythm. Naruto and Narumi followed, their movements synchronized through instinct and familiarity. Chains. Steel impact within moments. It was over. The attackers lay restrained, breathing, barely conscious. Kakashi's voice came from behind them. Good. Both Jonin stepped out unharmed, testing, always testing. Naruto glanced at the corpses that had dissolved earlier, water residue, as expected. His attention shifted instead to Tazuna. The man avoided eye contact, hands shaking, breath uneven. Liar. The truth spilled soon after. Fear, desperation. A story about a tyrant who controlled everything beyond the waves. Naruto listened, but not for sympathy, for patterns. They continued. Forest near the shoreline. The air grew heavier, thicker, charged. A rustle. Kenzo reacted instantly. A kunai cut through the leaves. Only to reveal a rabbit, white, clean, out of place. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly. Kakashi noticed, and then the world screamed. DOWN. Steel tore through the air. A massive blade embedded itself into a tree with violent force, and atop it, a man, Zabuza Mamachi. Killing intent flooded the area instantly. Raw, suffocating, unforgiving. Narumi stiffened. Naruto faltered. Kenzo's confidence cracked. Naruto smiled finally. Mist swallowed the battlefield. Zabuza's voice drifted through it, cold, clinical, enjoying it. Kakashi countered. Wind cut through the fog and nearly cost him everything, because Zabuza had already moved, but before the strike could land, something pierced him, a blade through the torso. Zabuza froze, everyone froze. Naruto stood behind him, silent, precise. Then water. The body collapsed, a clone. Zabuza reappeared behind Naruto instantly, his blade slicing clean through him. Naruto. Kushina's scream tore through the mist, smoke, a decoy. Naruto reformed behind him again. Already moving, already adapting, their clash began. Steel met steel, and for the first time, Zabuza hesitated. This wasn't a child, this wasn't luck, this was intent. Naruto moved like someone who had already seen the outcome, every strike calculated, every step deliberate. Zabuza countered with brute force. Naruto responded with precision. Water surged, lightning cracked, blades screamed. The battlefield shifted to the lake. Zabuza unleashed a massive technique, a dragon of water roaring to life, and Naruto ran across it, not with panic, not with effort, with control. Even Kakashi's eye widened. What is he? The duel intensified, speed increased, pressure mounted. Naruto closed the distance again, blades flashing, strikes landing. Relentless. Zabuza was pushed back, for the first time in years. Forced on the defensive, then Naruto disappeared and reappeared directly in front of him. This ends now. The assault that followed was not human, a storm of steel, unpredictable, violent, absolute. When it ended, Zabuza's body was thrown across the shore. Broken, bleeding, barely alive, Naruto approached slowly, blade ready to finish it. Then, needles struck precise, deadly. Zabuza's body went still. A masked figure appeared, calm, controlled, a hunter or something pretending to be one. Naruto stared longer than necessary. Then, he smiled, interesting. He turned away. Letting them take the body, letting them leave, Kakashi watched carefully. Naruto wasn't fooled, which meant he allowed it. That was worse, as the mist faded. The battlefield settled. Kenzo snapped first. Why did you interfere? Naruto didn't even look at him. Kakashi stepped forward. He's not dead, is he? Naruto's answer came without hesitation. No. A pause and next time. His grip on the sword tightened slightly. He won't hold back. The wind shifted, and for a brief, terrifying moment, everyone felt it, not chakra, something else, watching, waiting.
He fought an A rank missing ninja and did not just survive, he dominated. Naruto did not panic, he did not hesitate. He controlled the battlefield like he had done it 100 times before. Even Zabuza, the demon of the mist, was pushed to the edge. But here is what's truly terrifying. Naruto let him live, and now there is something inside him, something that just spoke back. So tell me, is Naruto still in control of his power, or is that power slowly taking control of him? Because in the next chapter, we might finally find out what's really awakening inside him.
Chapter 3. The whisper didn't leave him, it didn't fade, it didn't disappear like a passing thought, it lingered, even as the waves came into view, even as the smell of salt filled the air, even as the mission moved forward. Something inside Naruto remained awake, watching, listening, waiting. He said nothing, because whatever it was, it hadn't finished speaking. Tazuna's house, nightfall. The house was small, worn, but alive. Warm light spilled from within as the door opened, revealing a woman whose tired eyes still carried kindness. Tsunami welcomed them in without hesitation. Gratitude radiated from her voice, from her movements, from the way she looked at them. Like they were already saviors, Naruto noticed it immediately. And dismissed it just as fast. Hope like that was fragile. Dinner came soon after, simple but genuine. Voices filled the room. For once it almost felt normal. Then the door slid open again. A boy stepped inside, small, silent, eyes far older than they should have been. Inari. Tsunami's voice softened as she introduced them, but the boy didn't respond, didn't greet them, didn't even acknowledge their presence beyond a passing glance. Then he turned and walked away. What's his problem? Kenzo muttered. The answer came quietly. Loss, fear, a world that had already taught him what strength really cost. Naruto listened, but his eyes didn't soften because he understood something the others didn't. That kind of fear doesn't come from weakness, it comes from experience. Kakashi ended the night with a simple decision. We train tomorrow. No one argued because they all felt it. Zabuza wasn't done, and neither was Naruto. Forest clearing, morning. Mist clung to the trees. The air felt heavier here, less forgiving. Kakashi stood before them, lazy posture, sharp eyes. Preparation decides survival, he said. Today we refine. Teams were split, assignments given, structure enforced. Naruto listened, then stared at Kakashi, unimpressed. That's your plan? The tone alone was enough to shift the atmosphere. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Naruto continued. You saw the fight. A step forward, or were you too busy watching instead of understanding? A pause. Naruto pointed toward the lake. Where did I fight? Kakashi didn't answer, but his eye widened slightly. Naruto smirked. Exactly. The realization hit too late. Naruto turned away. I'll train myself. And just like that, he left. Kushina watched him go, something heavy settling in her chest. Days later, same forest. Time passed, training continued, but something had shifted. Naruto stayed apart, always, not distant, not isolated, separate. One afternoon, Narumi followed him. She found him standing over the lake, not standing. Moving, his reflection broke and reformed with every step as he flowed across the water like it obeyed him. Around him, shadow clones studied scrolls, practiced forms, analyzed. Narumi's eyes narrowed. So you're not completely useless. Naruto didn't stop, didn't look at her. and you're still blind. That did it. She stepped forward, anger rising, words cutting deeper than intended. Years of frustration, assumptions, pride, everything spilled out, and Naruto stopped. The air changed instantly when he turned. There was no hesitation left in his eyes, only anger, real anger. Narumi attacked first, steel flashed, movement sharp. Naruto didn't block, didn't counter immediately. He waited, then he moved, the gap between them vanished. One strike, Narumi flew back. The fight escalated instantly. Water surged, techniques collided. Naruto's control overwhelmed hers, not through brute force, but through precision. Every move she made, he had already seen. Every attack, already countered. Chains wrapped around him. For a moment, victory. Then they shattered. Narumi froze. Naruto stepped through the fragments and struck again. She hit the ground hard, breathing uneven, eyes wide, not from pain, from realization. He's not the same. Before it could go further, two presences cut into the battlefield. Kakashi, Kushina, they stepped between them instantly. Enough. Naruto didn't move, didn't lower his stance. Move. Kushina's voice trembled. Naruto. He looked at her, and whatever she expected to see wasn't there. You lost that right. The words landed harder than any blow. Kakashi stepped forward, firm, controlled. You're crossing a line. Naruto's expression didn't change. You drew it. Silence, heavy, unavoidable. Then Naruto spoke again, not shouting, not raging, just truth about neglect, about silence, about being invisible in his own home. Each word stripped something away. Kushina broke first. Tears fell, uncontrolled, unstoppable. Naruto watched and felt nothing, not satisfaction, not guilt, just distance. He turned away. I'm done here. A pause, try to understand something for once. And then he disappeared into the forest. This time no one followed. The next morning, deep forest. The forest felt different, quieter. A lone figure moved through it. Light steps, careful hands, gathering herbs, observing, listening. Then she saw it, the damaged trees carved apart, ground shattered, scars of something violent, recent. She followed the trail, slowly, cautiously, until she reached the center. And there he was, Naruto, lying in the middle of the destruction, unconscious, breathing barely. But what made her stop wasn't his condition. It was the faint glow beneath his skin, and the whisper that escaped his lips. Found you. The whisper slipped past Naruto's lips again. Not his voice, not his tone. The girl froze. Every instinct screamed at her to move, to run, to disappear. But she didn't, because the boy lying before her was the same one, the one who had nearly cut down Zabuza Mamachi. Her grip tightened slightly around the basket. If he wakes, I might not get another chance. She stepped closer, silent, measured, and then Naruto's eyes opened, sharp, aware, already watching her. If you're going to kill someone, his voice came out low, steady, make sure they're actually asleep. She flinched just slightly, but enough. I wasn't planning to, she replied calmly, masking the tension beneath her voice. I thought you were one of Gato's men. Naruto pushed himself up slowly. The faint glow beneath his skin had vanished, but something remained. He studied her, long black hair, delicate features, a presence that felt too controlled. You're not. It wasn't a question. She tilted her head slightly. And you are. Naruto smirked faintly. Not your enemy. A pause, unless you decide otherwise. Silence stretched between them. Then the tension eased, barely. I'm gathering herbs, she said, lifting the basket slightly. Someone important to me is injured. Naruto's gaze lingered, not on the basket, on her. You're lying. She froze, then. Partially. Naruto chuckled under his breath. Good. He stood fully now, brushing dirt from his clothes. My name's Naruto. A brief pause, just Naruto. She hesitated, then. Haku. The name lingered. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly, recognition flickering behind them, but he didn't call it out. Not yet. Need help? He asked casually. Haku blinked. You'd help a stranger. Naruto turned slightly, already walking past her. I help interesting people. That answer confused her more than anything else. Later, forest edge. The sun had begun to dip, shadows stretched longer. They worked in silence, but it wasn't awkward, it was observant. Naruto noticed everything. The way she moved, the way she avoided certain plants, the way her hands never trembled, a tool, he thought. Haku noticed something too. Naruto never wasted motion, never hesitated, like everything he did had already been decided when they finished. They stood at the edge of the forest. You're not from here, Haku said quietly. Naruto glanced at her. Neither are you. A pause, then. He turned away. Tell Zabuza something for me. Her body tensed. Naruto didn't look back. Next time. A faint smile curved his lips. He doesn't get to walk away. And before she could respond, he vanished. Haku stood there, frozen. He knew. For the first time, doubt crept in Tazuna's house night. Naruto returned like nothing had happened. The table was filled, voices quieter than before, tension lingering beneath every word. Narumi avoided his gaze. Kushina couldn't meet it. Kakashi watched him carefully. Naruto stepped forward. Where were you? Naruto didn't stop walking, training. Simple, final, no one pushed further, because no one knew how, that night. Naruto lay awake longer than usual. His hand rested lightly over his chest. You're getting louder, he murmured, no answer, but he felt it, waiting. The next morning. A scream shattered the silence. Naruto's eyes snapped open instantly. No hesitation, no confusion, he moved, outside Tazuna's home. Chaos. Two men dragged Tsunami across the ground, desperate, laughing, careless. Inari lay nearby, bruised, helpless. Someone help. They never finished. A blur cut through the space between them. Steel followed. The sound was short, final. One man collapsed instantly. The other didn't even realize what happened. Until he hit the ground, Naruto stood there, silent, unmoved. Tsunami stared at him, shaking. He cut the ropes, gently. You're safe. She broke down, gripping him tightly. Naruto didn't react, but he didn't push her away either. After a moment. Where are the others? The bridge, she whispered. They left. They didn't want to wake you. Naruto nodded, then looked at Inari. The boy froze under his gaze. You stood up, Naruto said. Inari blinked. I tried. Naruto turned away. That's enough. And then, he was gone, the bridge. Mist consumed everything, visibility gone, sound distorted, but beneath it. Battle raged. Kakashi and Zabuza clashed again, steel against lightning, experience against instinct. Kushina moved alongside him, relentless, fierce, but something was wrong. A pressure filled the air, dark, wild, uncontrolled, inside a dome of ice. Narumi stood trembling. Naruto lay motionless in her arms. You killed her. Red chakra bled from her skin, unstable, violent, across from her. Haku stood within mirrors of ice, watching, waiting. Narumi lunged, power overtaking reason. The mirrors shattered, one after another. Haku's control faltered. Then a sphere of spinning energy formed in Narumi's hand, unstable, incomplete, and aimed to kill, but before it could land. A hand caught her wrist. Narumi froze. Naruto stood beside her. Look properly. His voice cut through everything. She's not dead. Narumi's breath hitched. Naruto glanced toward Haku. Right. Oh. Haku hesitated, then. Yes. The tension cracked. Narumi's chakra faded. Relief replaced rage, but it didn't last, because in the distance. Lightning screamed. Naruto's head snapped up. Too late. Haku moved instantly, toward Zabuza, toward death, and Kakashi. Was already striking. Everything happened at once. The lightning blade pierced forward. And Naruto moved faster. He intercepted it, redirected it, and in the same motion grabbed Haku, spun, and kicked Zabuza away. The impact shattered the moment. Time seemed to stop. Kakashi stared. Kushina froze. Zabuza slid back. Eyes wide, and Haku was held firmly in Naruto's grip, alive. Now tell me, whose tool are you really? Naruto's grip tightened, not enough to hurt, enough to remind. Haku didn't answer immediately. Her breath hitched, her composure cracked just slightly. Then a sound broke the moment, clapping, slow, mocking. All eyes turned. A short man stepped forward, surrounded by a swarm of armed thugs, filthy, grinning, hungry for blood. Gato. Well, he sneered, voice dripping with contempt. So this is the famous demon of the mist. Pathetic, couldn't even finish one old man. Zabuza's gaze darkened. You shouldn't be here. Gato laughed, oh but I should. Why pay expensive shinobi when trash like them does the job cheaper? The thugs stepped forward, weapons drawn, eyes gleaming. Kill them, Gato ordered lazily. Leave the girls alive. Silence heavy, Kakashi shifted. Kushina tensed, Narumi steadied herself. Kenzo clenched his fists. They were exhausted, drained. Not ready, Naruto. Started walking slowly, calmly. Naruto, stop, Kushina called. He didn't, because something inside him was laughing again, not loud, not wild, hungry. Naruto stepped forward and smiled. The thugs hesitated just for a second, then they charged, and time slowed. Naruto's world narrowed, breath, movement, intent, everything became clear. The first man reached him. Naruto moved, steel flashed, a single step turned into a storm. Bodies fell before they understood what happened. Blood painted the bridge, screams followed. Naruto didn't stop. He weaved through them like a phantom, every strike precise, every movement efficient. A blade curved. A throat opened, a kick landed. Bones shattered, a spin. Multiple bodies collapsed. There was no wasted motion. No hesitation, just execution from the distance. Kakashi watched. This isn't combat. This is eradication. Kenzo's arrogance vanished. Narumi's breath hitched. Naruto stared. Frozen, Naruto stepped forward again. Three attacked at once. They didn't last a second, a flicker. And they were gone. The ground grew heavier with each step he took. The remaining thugs faltered, fear creeping in. What the hell is this kid? One shouted. Naruto tilted his head slightly. You're already dead. He moved again, faster, sharper. Lightning crackled faintly around his blade. Wind twisted at his feet. The next wave never reached him. They were torn apart before contact. Bodies lifted. Thrown. Dropped. The battlefield turned into chaos, and Naruto stood at its center, unshaken, unstoppable. Gato's smile vanished. Get him, I'll pay you double, no triple. Desperation, the remaining men roared, charged again. Naruto's grin widened. Good. Because now, he didn't have to hold back. He stepped forward. And everything broke. The air split, the ground trembled. A vortex of force erupted from his movement, throwing bodies into the air like broken dolls. Some didn't land, some didn't move again, and some never even saw it coming when it ended. Silence followed, heavy, final. Naruto stood alone, surrounded by bodies, blood dripping from his blades, his breathing steady, too steady. Gato stumbled back, M-monster. Naruto looked at him, not with anger, not with rage, but with something far worse, disinterest. And then he took a step forward. Break him. Oh. The voice didn't echo this time, it settled. Naruto's fingers twitched, his grip tightened around the hilt, and his smile changed, not wider, not louder, colder. Gato stumbled backward, his legs barely holding him upright. Stay back, I'll pay you anything. Naruto didn't answer, because the battlefield answered for him. Bodies fell around him like rain, the last remnants of resistance. Shattered, one man broke first. He turned, ran, desperation overriding reason. Naruto moved, not fast, instant. He appeared between the fleeing man and escape. Like he had always been there, the man froze, eyes wide, breath gone. Naruto tilted his head slightly, too slow. Steel flashed, the scream didn't last long, and then Naruto moved again, through them, around them, between them. Every direction became death. Blades carved arcs through the air. Precise, effortless, a man raised his weapon. It never landed. Another tried to run. He didn't make it 2 steps. An arrow flew. Naruto caught it mid-motion, snapped it, and the archer fell next. The bridge became silent, one by one, until only a handful remained. Fear spread faster than blood. We can't win. Run. They scattered. Naruto exhaled slowly. No. Lightning surged faintly beneath his skin. Wind coiled at his feet, and then he vanished. The first group never saw him. A ripple. Well, cut. And they collapsed before they understood what happened. The second tried to leap over the railing, but invisible threads pulled through the air. Steel followed. They fell before they reached the water. The last of them dropped their weapons, begging, crying. Naruto stood before them, unmoved, unchanged, behind him. Silence ahead. Fear. Gato fell to his knees. Why, you're not human. Naruto stepped closer, correct. The word slipped out before he could stop it. A flicker crossed his expression. Gone in an instant, Gato crawled backward. Please, I'll give you everything. Money, power, anything. Naruto stopped in front of him for a moment. Nothing happened then. A single motion, clean, effortless, Gato's voice. Stopped and his body followed. The bridge fell silent. No cheers, no relief, just silence. Naruto stood there for a moment longer, then turned. One man remained, barely conscious. Shaking, Naruto grabbed him by the collar, lifted him slightly. Their eyes met. And the man broke instantly. Listen, Naruto's voice dropped low, controlled, terrifying. I'm letting you live. The man nodded frantically, not because you deserve it. A pause, but because I need a message delivered. Naruto leaned closer, tell them. His grip tightened, tell everyone. The air grew heavier, the sky darkened slightly. That Naruto date. A faint crack of thunder, the one-eyed dragon of Konoha. His gaze sharpened, is not someone you hunt. The man trembled violently, he's someone you pray you never meet. Naruto released him, the man didn't wait, didn't think, he ran, faster than he ever had. Naruto watched him go, then turned back and met their eyes, Narumi, Kenzo, Kakashi, Kushina, Tazuna, all of them. Staring not at a teammate, not at a genin, at something else. Naruto walked past them, stopped beside Naruko, lifted her carefully, we're leaving. No one argued because no one knew what to say. Days later, border of the land of Earth. A small shop, quiet, routine, the door slammed open, a man stumbled in, covered in dirt, eyes wild, I need a name added now. The shopkeeper frowned, calm down, who? The man swallowed hard, hands shaking, Naruto date. The pen paused, alias. The man's voice dropped to a whisper, the one-eyed dragon of Konoha. Silence filled the shop, and somewhere, far away, that same voice stirred again, good.
He did not just win the fight, he erased it. Dozens of enemies gone in seconds. No hesitation, no mercy, no humanity. Naruto did not just defeat Gato, he sent a message to the entire world. A name, a little. The one-eyed dragon of Konoha. But here is the terrifying part. That power inside him, it's growing, it's changing him. And now it's starting to take control. So tell me, is Naruto still fighting his enemies or he is becoming something far worse than him? Because in the next chapter we might see the moment he finally loses himself.
Chapter 4. The waves didn't roar anymore, for the first time in years. They felt calm, news spread faster than the tide. Gato was dead, his grip broken, his fear gone, and with that, the land of waves breathed again. For 2 nights straight, the village drowned in celebration. Laughter replaced silence, music replaced fear, hope returned, but even in celebration, something felt off, because at the center of it all stood Naruto, not as a hero, not as a savior, but as something people didn't fully understand. He laughed, drank, outlasted everyone who tried to keep up with him, but his eyes never softened. Villagers gathered around him, some in admiration, some in curiosity, some in something far less innocent. Naruto stayed close. Kushina watched even closer, and Naruto, he noticed, but didn't care, at the edge of the gathering. Haku stood quietly, observing, drawn, she didn't understand why, but every time her gaze drifted toward him, her chest tightened. Your heart's catching up to you, a voice beside her muttered. Zabuza Mamachi didn't look at her, but he didn't need to. Haku lowered her gaze slightly. Maybe. For once, the demon of the mist didn't laugh. Third night, edge of the village. The celebration had died down, the wind carried only silence now. Naruto stood near the shoreline, looking out, thinking, kid. Naruto didn't turn, you're leaving. Zabuza smirked faintly, yeah. A pause, and she's not coming with me. Naruto's gaze shifted slightly. Haku deserves better than the life I've lived, Zabuza continued, running, killing, surviving. For a moment, there was no sarcasm, no edge, just truth. She'll follow strength, Naruto said quietly. Zabuza chuckled, then make sure you're strong enough. Silence settled again, then Zabuza lifted his blade slightly. One last fight. Naruto finally turned, no hesitation, no surprise, no tricks. Just steel. A pause. Naruto smiled. Good. The final duel. The wind picked up, leaves scattered, the air tightened. Steel met steel. The first clash shook the ground beneath them. Raw strength, pure intent, no chakra, no tricks, just skill. They pushed, locked, tested, then broke apart. Naruto moved first, a feint, a shift. A second blade drawn mid-motion. Zabuza twisted just enough, but not entirely. A thin line of red traced across his torso. He laughed. Good. Then countered. A brutal kick sent Naruto sliding back. Followed instantly by a downward strike. Naruto crossed his blades, blocked. The impact cracked the ground beneath him, but he didn't fall. He adapted, shifted, and struck again. The fight escalated, faster, sharper, deadlier, every exchange. A lesson, every clash. A statement. Zabuza attacked with overwhelming force. Naruto answered with precision. Neither yielded until a single mistake. Zabuza jumped. Naruto saw it, too late to retreat, too perfect to ignore. He changed the angle and struck upward. The blade caught. Zabuza landed. On one knee, blood dripping and smiling. Now this. He exhaled sharply. This is a fight. Naruto stepped forward. Then don't fall yet. The wind howled, the sky darkened, and for a moment. Time slowed. Naruto saw it, a beast behind Zabuza. Cold, relentless. Zabuza saw it too, a dragon, coiled, hungry. They moved. One final clash. The impact echoed through the trees. Then silence. They stood back to back, still, waiting. Naruto dropped first, one knee, a thin cut across his cheek. Zabuza chuckled. Take care of her. Naruto exhaled. Just fall already. And Zabuza did, face first, the duel. Over. Departure. The bridge. Days passed. The bridge stood complete, stronger than before, a symbol of change, of resistance, of something new. The villagers gathered, voices rising again. What should we call it? Names were thrown, rejected, mocked, until Inari stepped forward, the great dragon bridge. Silence then. Agreement, because everyone there knew why. Naruto didn't react, but for a brief moment. His gaze lingered, returned to Konoha. The journey back was faster, quieter, no civilians, no delays, just movement, and thoughts left unspoken. When they reached the gates, the village stood unchanged, but they were Hokage Tower. The room was already occupied. Jiraiya leaned against the wall, watching, smirking. Tsunade stood nearby, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Minato Namikaze remained at the center, calm, measured. The report began. Kakashi spoke. Kushina followed, but when it came to Naruto, there was hesitation, not because they didn't know what to say, but because they didn't know how to say it. The room shifted as the truth unfolded. Zabuza, Gato, the slaughter, the duel, silence followed, heavy. Then all eyes turned to Naruto. He didn't react because he already knew this wasn't over. Cliffhanger. As the conversation shifted toward Haku's integration into the village, Naruto's chest pulsed again. Violently this time. The voice didn't whisper, it spoke. They're all lying to you. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly. Because for the first time, he couldn't tell if it was wrong. They're all lying to you. The voice didn't fade, it lingered, sharp, invasive. Naruto stood still in the center of the room. Everyone else was speaking, moving, reacting, but to him, it all felt distant, like watching a play he no longer belonged to. The report ended, the air grew tight. Minato Namikaze dismissed the team. Everyone left, except Kakashi. Naruto, Kakashi said quietly, wait outside. Naruto didn't argue, didn't react. He turned, walked out, but the moment the door closed, his expression shifted, cold, knowing they're going to talk about me inside the room. Silence lingered for a moment, then Kakashi spoke and everything came out, not just the mission, not just the battle, but Naruto, what he said, how he acted, what he believed. Each word added weight to the room. Kushina's shoulders trembled, Jiraiya frowned deeply. Tsunade's gaze darkened, Minato remained still, too still, when Kakashi finished. No one spoke immediately, because no one knew how to respond. Call him in, Minato said finally. Inside the Hokage office. Naruto stepped back in. The shift was immediate. He felt it, saw it, judgment, concern, disappointment. So, Naruto said lazily, eyes half-lidded, what did the fanboy tell you? The tension snapped. Enough, Minato said, voice calm but firm. Naruto looked at him. You think this is a joke? Minato continued. We heard everything. A pause, and I don't understand how you could see your own family like that. Naruto didn't respond, so Minato continued. We had responsibilities, your siblings. There it is. Naruto's voice cut through the room. The smile on his face didn't reach his eyes. The excuse. Jiraiya stepped forward slightly. Kid, listen. Naruto laughed, not loud, not wild, but enough to make the room uneasy. You really believe that, don't you? His gaze swept across them, all of you. The laughter stopped instantly. You talk about responsibility like it justifies everything. A step forward, but tell me something. His voice dropped. When exactly did I stop being part of that responsibility? Silence, no one answered. Naruto's expression hardened. Every time I tried to speak, you ignored me. Every time I needed something, you weren't there. His eyes locked onto Minato, but now. A bitter smile, now you suddenly remember I exist. Kushina's voice broke. Naruto, that's not. Don't. One word and she froze. Naruto's gaze didn't soften. Don't pretend you understand. Jiraiya stepped in again, trying to stabilize the situation. Look, kid, your father had to make difficult choices. Naruto raised his hand. Stop. The room went quiet again. You talk about prophecy like it means something. A faint tilt of his head. I've known about it for years. That got their attention. Jiraiya's expression shifted. What? Naruto smirked faintly, and you built everything around it. Your decisions, your priorities. His voice sharpened, but people who rely on prophecy. A pause are just people who don't know what to do on their own. Tsunade stepped forward now, anger flashing in her eyes. That's enough. Naruto looked at her. You're one to talk. Her expression hardened. You're letting the past control you. Naruto's voice dropped, while ignoring what's right in front of you. Oh. The room froze again because this time. No one could immediately deny it. Naruto exhaled slowly. I'm not angry anymore. That made it worse. Anger fades. His gaze darkened. This. A pause. This is clarity. He turned toward the door, then stopped. You want a prophecy. No one moved, no one spoke. Naruto's voice changed slightly, lower, heavier. Then listen carefully. The air shifted. On the day everything you built begins to crumble. Minato's eyes narrowed. You'll realize something too late. Naruto glanced back slightly, that it wasn't an enemy who broke it. A pause, it was the one you ignored. Silence heavy, final, and then. He left training grounds later. The wind was restless. Naruto stood alone, eyes closed, breathing steady. Trying to suppress it, you're holding back. Naruto's eyes snapped open. Shut up. A presence appeared. Kakashi Hokage. Naruto. Naruto exhaled slowly. You shouldn't have come. Kakashi stepped forward. You need to calm down. A pause and fix this. Naruto looked at him like he was looking at something broken. Or what? Kakashi didn't answer immediately, or things will get worse. Naruto smiled faintly. Good. And then, he drew his blade. Make me stop. Kakashi's eyes sharpened, the Sharingan spun to life, and Naruto disappeared. He reappeared above him, blade descending. Kakashi barely avoided it. The ground exploded from the impact. Electricity surged outward. Kakashi was thrown back, recovered, only to face Naruto again, faster, more precise. Every exchange pushed him further. Cuts formed, breathing grew heavier. Naruto didn't slow down, didn't tire, didn't hesitate. This isn't normal. Kakashi formed signs, fire, water, wind, all converged. Naruto didn't move, he simply drew a single motion, and everything split apart. The techniques dissolved instantly. Kakashi froze. What was that? Naruto didn't answer because he was already behind him. Strikes landed, precise, controlled. Kakashi dropped to one knee, breathing heavy. Naruto stepped forward. You're outclassed. Then, lightning gathered not in his hand, but across his entire arm, forming something sharper, more dangerous. Kakashi's eyes widened. That's. Naruto smirked an upgrade. He moved fast, too fast. And just before impact, a flash of yellow intercepted Minato Namikaze. He pulled Kakashi out of the strike. Barely in time, Naruto's attack tore through the tree behind them, splitting it clean in half. Silence followed. Naruto turned and looked at his father, right on time. Minato stood still not as a father, but as Hokage, Naruto. Naruto's smile returned, so. A pause, tell me. The air grew heavier. What are you going to do now, hero?
Naruto is not just changing anymore, he's breaking. He turned against his own sensei, overwhelmed Kakashi without hesitation, and nearly struck down his own father. This is not anger, this is not rebellion, this is something far worse. That power inside him, it's growing, evolving, and now it's starting to feel inhuman. So tell me, is Naruto still in control of himself? Or has something else already taken over? Because in the next chapter, the lines between Naruto and the power might disappear completely.
Chapter 5. The silence inside the Hokage residence felt unnatural. The door closed behind Minato Namikaze with a soft click, but the sound echoed far louder in his mind. What are you going to do now, hero? The words wouldn't leave, they circled, repeated, carved deeper with every second. Minato stood still for a moment, hand resting against the door, eyes unfocused, for the first time in years. The yellow flash hesitated. Minato. Kushina Uzumaki stepped into view. Concern was immediate, instinctive. He forced a smile. It didn't reach his eyes. She saw it instantly. What happened? A pause, then. He told her not everything, not the weight of it, but enough. And as the truth settled, Kushina's expression changed, shock, pain. Guilt, not because she didn't understand, but because she did. He's not wrong. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Minato looked at her, but he's not right either. Silence followed because both of them knew. That wasn't the real problem. The problem was. Naruto wasn't listening anymore. Kushina exhaled slowly. Then. The Chuunin exams are coming. Minato blinked and. Her gaze sharpened slightly. It forces teamwork. A pause forces trust. Minato's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes shifted. You think that'll fix this? No. Kushina didn't hesitate, but it might stop things from getting worse. That was enough. Minato closed his eyes briefly, then nodded. We'll sign them up. Not because he believed it would work, but because he didn't have a better option. 2 weeks later, Konoha streets. The village moved like nothing had changed, but Naruto noticed everything. The whispers, the glances, the distance. He walked calmly, unbothered, until familiar voices approached. Naruto, Narumi, they greeted him. Naruto smiled. Narumi didn't. Naruto noticed. Of course he did, but he said nothing. They walked together until Naruto stopped. You're terrible at hiding. Silence then. A rock exploded into smoke. 3 figures tumbled out, coughing. Konohamaru, Sarutobi, Udan, and Mogi. Naruto smirked faintly. Work on that. Konohamaru grinned. Boss, play ninja with us. Narumi sighed. Naruto chuckled softly. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Fine. The kids cheered and ran. Naruto followed. For a moment, it almost felt normal until a scream cut through the street. Naruto's expression changed instantly. They turned the corner and saw it, Kinkuro holding Konohamaru by the collar, angry, careless, beside him. Temari watched with mild annoyance. Put him down, Naruto said calmly. Kinkuro scoffed. Or what? He never finished because steel touched his neck. Naruto stood behind him. No one saw him move. Try me. The air dropped. Kinkuro froze. Temari's eyes narrowed, slowly. He released Konohamaru. Naruto stepped back, sheathing his blade. Good choice. But Naruto wasn't done. He turned slightly, looking toward the trees. You're not subtle either. Silence then. Sand shifted. Gaara stepped forward. The air changed instantly. Heavy, still dangerous. Naruto's gaze met his. No fear, no hesitation, just recognition. You're him, Gaara said quietly. Naruto tilted his head, and you're unstable. Temari stiffened, Kankuro frowned, Gaara didn't react. What's your name? Before anyone else could speak, Naruto answered, Naruto. A pause, remember it. Gaara's eyes sharpened slightly. We'll meet again. And just like that, they left. Kenzo scoffed. What was that about? Naruto walked past him. Ask the thing inside you. Kenzo froze. Naruto didn't explain. He didn't need to. Team meeting. They arrived. Kakashi stood there, still, bruised. Naruto smirked slightly. Rough day. Kakashi didn't respond. Instead, he handed them forms, the Chuunin exams. Silence then. Excitement, tension, expectation. Different reactions, same decision. They signed because none of them were backing down. Day of the Chuunin exams. The building loomed ahead, crowded, alive, dangerous. Naruto stepped inside. The pressure was immediate. Genin from every village, watching, measuring. They reached the floor marked 301. Naruto stopped. Wrong. Genjutsu, simple, predictable, before anyone could react. Others arrived, Sasuke Uchiha, Kenzo, others. Challenges were thrown, egos clashed. Naruto ignored all of it and walked past toward the real entrance. Naruto followed. Narumi hesitated. Then followed too, inside the exam hall. The moment they entered, killing intent flooded the room, heavy, crushing, a test. Naruto didn't react, he simply released his own, not fully, just enough. And suddenly, the room shifted, eyes widened, breath stopped, because for a moment, they didn't see a genin, they saw something else, something watching them like prey. Naruto's gaze moved slowly across the room, and then stopped on a team from another village. Their eyes didn't waver, they weren't afraid, they were interested. Naruto smirked faintly. Good, the laughter didn't stop, it echoed inside him, louder than before, clearer than ever. Naruto stood still in the middle of the exam hall, but inside something was moving, watching, enjoying. Across the room, eyes followed him, not just with fear, but with curiosity. From the far side, a kunoichi from Kumigakure observed him closely. Her posture relaxed, but her gaze sharp. That wasn't everything. Beside her, another girl leaned forward slightly, intrigued. So this is him. And near them, a man with twin spears resting across his back watched silently. So this is the one I was told about. Naruto noticed. Of course he did. His gaze locked onto the spear wielder, and for a moment, the world faded. They moved, not running, not rushing, but drawn step by step, until they stood across from each other. Silence, tension, then a single mistake, a dropped kunai. It hit the floor and everything exploded. Steel clashed instantly. Naruto's blades intercepted the twin spears mid-motion. The impact cracked the ground beneath them. A shockwave rippled outward, sending nearby genin crashing into walls. The unlucky boy between them collapsed instantly. Unconscious from the pressure alone, Naruto pushed forward. The spear wielder matched him, neither yielding, neither backing down for a brief moment. Everyone watching swore they saw it, a dragon and a tiger staring each other down, waiting, hungry. Then they broke apart, sliding back, resetting, still ready, still dangerous, before either could move again. Smoke filled the room, a figure appeared. Enough. The command cut through everything, silence followed. The proctor's gaze swept across the room, cold, unforgiving. Naruto lowered his blade slowly. The spear wielder did the same, but the tension remained. Name, Naruto said simply. The man smirked faintly. Reito Yukimura. A pause. The tiger of Kumo. Oh. His eyes narrowed slightly. And you're exactly as they said. Naruto tilted his head. Which is? Reito's lips curved slightly. Dangerous. Naruto smirked. Good. They returned to their seats, but the room had already changed. First stage, written exam. Time passed, questions were handed out. Most struggled, panicked, hesitated. Naruto didn't, because he wasn't answering. He was playing, watching patterns, reading movements, outplaying the examiners themselves. Across the room, Kenzo delivered a speech, confidence loud, presence forceful. Naruto barely glanced, still chasing attention. Before the tension could settle, the window shattered, a blur entered and landed on the desk. Enko Mitarashi. Loud, energetic, unpredictable, she grinned. welcome to the next stage. Oh, the mood shifted instantly because now it wasn't about intelligence, it was about survival. Training Ground 44, the Forest of Death. The gates opened, darkness swallowed them. The air felt wrong, heavy, alive. Naruto dropped the scroll deliberately. Earth. A signal others noticed, predators watching, waiting. Naruto smirked. Come, the test began. Minutes passed. And the first attack came. A weak team, desperate. They didn't last long. Naruto didn't even need to move, within moments. They had what they needed, a second scroll. Done, Naruto whispered. Naruto nodded. Then we move. They advanced fast, efficient, toward the tower, but then the wind shifted violently, the trees groaned, the ground cracked slightly, and something arrived. A figure emerged. A grass ninja, but wrong, too still, too controlled. Fight like your lives depend on it, the voice slithered. Then they swallowed their scroll and released it, killing intent, overwhelming, crushing. Narumi dropped to one knee. Naruto gasped. Kenzo froze, their bodies refused to move. Fear took over, but then something else rose, darker, sharper. Naruto's chakra surged, and it collided with the pressure, canceling it, but replacing it with something worse. Even the grass ninja paused. Interesting. Naruto stepped forward, his body trembling, not from fear, from excitement. Finally. His grin widened, someone worth killing. The grass ninja smiled and shed their disguise. Orochimaru. So you know me. Naruto's eyes gleamed. I know enough. He didn't look back. Leave. Naruto hesitated. Narumi understood. Kenzo protested, but was knocked out instantly. Naruto caught him. We're going. They left, and Naruto was alone with a monster. Orochimaru chuckled. You're confident. Naruto drew his blade. No. A pause. I'm bored. Lightning erupted around him, and in the next second, he was gone. The clash began instantly. Speed, steel, electricity. Naruto's strikes tore through the forest. Trees split, ground cracked, air screamed. Orochimaru dodged, but not perfectly. Small cuts appeared. Impressive, Orochimaru murmured. Naruto didn't stop, didn't slow, didn't think, because something inside him was guiding every move. More. Naruto vanished again, reappeared. Point blank, and struck. The space itself seemed to fracture. Orochimaru's body split, then turned to mud. Naruto landed still, waiting, watching. The forest fell silent, and then a sound behind him. Naruto turned. And for the first time, his expression shifted. The hesitation lasted less than a heartbeat, and then it vanished. The ground split. A massive serpent erupted from beneath the forest floor, its jaws wide enough to swallow a man whole. Naruto didn't flinch. He moved upward. A single burst of chakra beneath his feet launched him into the air just as the creature snapped shut beneath him. But it didn't stop. The serpent twisted. Struck again. Midair, Naruto's eyes sharpened. Too predictable. A subtle pulse of wind chakra shifted his trajectory just enough. The jaws missed. Naruto flipped and descended, blade first. The moment his feet touched the serpent's back, he ran. Steel dragged along scales, sparks, blood. The creature writhed violently beneath him. But Naruto didn't slow at the final step. He stopped, hands moved, fast, precise, a storm dragon barrage. His fists struck forward and the forest answered. Dozens of chakra constructs, shaped like serpentine dragons, erupted outward in a violent surge. They tore through the battlefield, through trees, through earth, through everything. The explosion that followed shook the entire forest. Silence, then movement. A wall of earth crumbled, and behind it, Orochimaru stood, unharmed, smiling, beautiful. His arms extended, and from his sleeves a nightmare poured out. Snakes, hundreds of them. They surged forward like a living tide. Naruto didn't retreat, didn't blink. Pathetic. His hands slammed downward. Lightning exploded outward. Electric breakdown. The ground detonated beneath him. A violent burst of electricity surged through the forest, incinerating the snakes mid-motion. The shockwave tore through everything and kept going. Orochimaru vanished, reappeared at a distance, already weaving signs, fire style. A massive dragon of flame erupted from his mouth. It devoured everything in its path, including Naruto. The forest ignited, flames roared, smoke filled the air. Orochimaru watched, waiting, then. A voice behind him, "You're slow." His eyes widened. Naruto stood there, unburned, lightning danced across his skin. Wild, unstable, electro storm. The world exploded. A dome of lightning erupted outward. Violent, uncontrolled. Devastating. Orochimaru was caught, his body slammed into the ground. Dragged, crashing through trees before finally stopping, for the first time. His expression shifted, interest, real interest. Naruto didn't give him time, he was already there, 3 blades thrust forward. Magnum step. Orochimaru rolled, barely. The impact behind him obliterated a tree entirely. Naruto straightened, pointed his blades. Come on. They circled, slow, measured, predators reading each other, waiting, then. The forest moved again, spikes of earth erupted from below. Piercing upward in rapid succession, Naruto weaved through them effortlessly, like it was nothing, then. He jumped, descending with 3 blades aimed straight down. Orochimaru blocked, the collision sent a shockwave through the clearing. Steel screamed, pressure built, neither yielded. You're remarkable, Orochimaru murmured. Naruto smiled, cold. You talk too much. And then, he moved, not back, forward over him, a mistake. At least. That's what it looked like. Orochimaru's eyes widened, too late, judgment storm. The air itself fractured, invisible slashes tore through the space around Orochimaru. Striking from impossible angles, blood sprayed before he could recover. Naruto spun, all 6 blades drawn, dance of the whirlwind. A vortex of steel and wind erupted, catching Orochimaru completely, lifting him, crushing him, and throwing him into the distance. The forest went still. Naruto walked forward, slow, expectant. But nothing, no body, no blood, just silence, of course. Then, arms wrapped around him from behind, cold, unnatural. Orochimaru, you truly are special. His voice was quieter now, closer. Let me give you a gift. Fangs pierced Naruto's neck for a moment. Everything stopped then. Darkness, a void endless, and within it. Something opened its eyes, slitted, ancient, hungry. Orochimaru felt it, and for the first time. He recoiled back in the forest. Naruto stood still, his body trembled, not from pain, from something else. Marks began to spread across his skin. Dark, jagged, alive. Naruto turned his head slightly, and when he spoke, it wasn't just him anymore. You're going to regret that. His voice was deeper, layered, wrong. Orochimaru smiled. But there was caution in it now. How fascinating. Outside, forest perimeter. Enko Mitarashi froze mid-step. The ground shook violently beneath her. An explosion echoed across the forest. Birds scattered. The air trembled. No way. A shinobi appeared beside her. Multiple casualties. Grass team eliminated. Enko's expression darkened instantly. So you're here. Her gaze locked onto the distant smoke rising into the sky. Orochimaru. Without another word. She vanished, racing toward the source, because whatever was happening there was no longer just an exam.
Naruto just crossed the line and there may not coming back. He did not just fight Orochimaru, he overwhelmed him, forced him back, made even a monster hesitate. But that's not the scariest part. Because the moment Orochimaru marked him, something else woke up. Something ancient, something hungry. And for the first time, even Orochimaru looked unsure. So, what is the power inside Naruto? Is it truly his? Or is he becoming a vessel for something far worse? Because in the next chapter, we might finally see what happens when Naruto loses control completely.
Chapter 6. The forest had gone silent, not the natural silence of wind and leaves, but the kind that followed destruction, where nothing dared to move, nothing dared to breathe, at the center of it all. Naruto stood, the ground beneath him had collapsed into a massive crater, its edges jagged, its surface scorched and torn apart as if the land itself had been punished. Trees were gone, rocks shattered, even the air felt different. Naruto slowly turned his head, surveying the damage. He lasted longer than I expected. His voice was calm, too calm. for someone who had just unleashed something that even he didn't fully understand, for a brief moment. His hand twitched, that voice still there, still watching. Naruto exhaled. Next time. Oh. And just like that, he walked away toward the tower, elsewhere deep within the forest. Pain, it crawled through every nerve. Orochimaru staggered forward, one hand gripping a tree to keep himself upright. Blood dripped, breathing uneven, for the first time in a long time. He was retreating. What are you? The question wasn't directed outward, it was directed at the memory of those eyes, those other eyes. If I miscalculate. A faint chuckle escaped his lips. I might actually die. Now that's something I never thought I'd hear. Orochimaru froze, that voice, he turned. Anko Mitarashi stood there, eyes burning with something between anger and satisfaction. Anko. She didn't smile. You look terrible. I've had worse days. Good. She moved fast. A strike aimed to kill. Orochimaru dodged. Barely, but he didn't counter, didn't engage. Instead, he stepped back. Not today. Before she could react, he vanished, leaving only his voice behind. Don't interfere with the exam. Anko stood still, fists clenched. Like hell I won't. Her eyes shifted toward the direction of the explosion, and she ran. Central tower entrance. Naruto arrived without a sound, but his presence was immediately felt. Naruto turned first. Relief flooded her face. Na-chan. Narumi followed, quiet, watchful. Kenzo was still talking. I should have been the one fighting him. Naruto walked past him and dropped the scrolls. Silence, then. Smoke. Kushina Uzumaki appeared. Her eyes moved quickly across all of them, checking, counting. Relief flickered. Before she hit it, you passed. Naruto didn't react. Naruko smiled. Narumi nodded. Kenzo scoffed. Kushina's gaze lingered on Naruto for a moment longer. But she said nothing. Stay inside, wait for the next stage. And then she was gone, inside the tower. The room was already filling. Different teams, different villages, different intentions. Naruto stepped in. And immediately felt it, eyes watching from the corner. Gaara still silent, dangerous. Kenzo clicked his tongue. They beat us here. Naruto ignored him. Moments later, the Kumo team entered. Reido's eyes met Naruto's again. No words, just understanding. Naruto leaned closer. Why do you two look like that? Naruto didn't look away. Because we're the same. She frowned slightly. What does that mean? Naruto finally broke eye contact. You'll understand later. More teams arrived. Shinoburame, Ino Yamanaka, Neji Hyuga, and finally, Sasuke Uchiha. Wounded. Naruto noticed, but didn't care, except. For one, Sai. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly. You're watching too much. Sai smiled faintly. Empty. Days later, preliminary arena. The room was massive. Balconies lined the walls, Jonin above, Genin below, and at the center. Possibility. Minato Namikaze stepped forward. His presence silenced the room. He spoke about purpose, about war, about meaning. Naruto didn't listen because that voice was louder, watching, waiting. Then the preliminaries were announced. Fights, one-on-one, survival. Naruto smirked slightly. Finally, names appeared. Fights began. Victories, defeats. Naruto watched, judged, dismissed. When Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka ended in a draw, Naruto sighed. That was painful to watch. A few chuckles echoed. Even some Jonin looked away. Naruto leaned back slightly. At least pretend you trained. Then the screen changed. Kiba and Yuzuka versus Reido Yukimura. Naruto's smile returned. This should be interesting. Kiba jumped down confidently. Reido followed slowly, unimpressed, ready to lose. Kiba barked. Reido didn't answer. Instead, he looked up at Naruto. How do you want this done? Naruto didn't hesitate. Teach him. A pause, but don't break the dog. Laughter spread. Kiba growled, you're dead. He charged, wild, uncontrolled. Reido moved once. That was enough. A single strike. Kiba folded instantly. The match was never close, even after pills, even after transformation. Reido ended it, clean, efficient, effortless. Naruto watched, satisfied because strength. Recognized strength, cliffhanger. As the arena settled, the screen flickered again, and this time, it landed on a name that made the entire room go silent. Naruto date. The air shifted because everyone knew. The real fight was about to begin. The explosion echoed long after the flames died. Smoke curled upward. Ash drifted across the arena like falling snow. At the center, Kiba and Yuzuka hit the ground hard. Silence followed. Then, a dull thud. His body didn't move. The proctor stepped forward, checking quickly. He's out. A pause. Winner Reito Yukimura. Murmurs spread instantly. Shock. Unease because what they had just witnessed wasn't a fight, it was domination. Up on the balcony, Naruto leaned slightly against the railing. A faint smirk touched his lips. Below, Reito Yukimura didn't celebrate, he simply turned and looked up. Their eyes met again, no words, just recognition. Naruto dipped his head slightly, mock respect. Reito returned it, and that alone made the Jonin uneasy. From the Kumo section, a woman watched closely. Yujito ne. Her expression was calm, but her eyes sharp. She stepped toward Reito. That wasn't like you. He didn't answer immediately. He's different. Yujito followed his gaze. Naruto, be careful, she said quietly. Reito didn't respond, but his grip on his spear tightened slightly. More matches. The arena heats up. Fights continued, brutal, fast. Some ended in seconds, others dragged on. When Hinata Hyuga collapsed against Kenzo, the outcome was obvious. Winner Kenzo. A few claps, more silence. Hayashi's gaze didn't change. Naruto didn't react because something else was building. Kasuga versus Samui. The arena shifted again. Two Kunoichi stepped forward. Tension, familiarity, rivalry. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. The moment the match started, steel met steel, speed, precision, technique, earth split, lightning carved through the air. Neither held back. They fought like they had something to prove. Not just to others, but to themselves. The clash escalated quickly. Explosions, traps, close combat, until finally, one decisive strike. Lightning surged. Impact landed. Kasuga fell. Samui staggered. Victory barely held together. Winner Samui. Medics rushed in. The arena reset. Naruto exhaled softly. They're strong. Narumi nodded. Kenzo scoffed. I could beat them. A voice cut in. Cold doubt it. Sasugachi. The tension sparked instantly, but before it could escalate, the screen flickered and everything changed. Next match. Naruto versus Narumi. Silence complete because no one expected it, not like this. Naruto blinked. Narumi froze for a brief moment. They were just sisters again. Then they moved down into the arena. Above, Minato Namikaze watched closely. Beside him, Kushina Uzumaki gripped the railing slightly tighter. Neither spoke because they knew this wasn't just a match. The fight begins. Steel clashed instantly, fast, sharp. Neither held back because neither could afford to. Chains erupted from both sides. Crimson and gold. Colliding midair, a deadlock, power against power. Narumi broke it first. Water surged forward. A concentrated blast. Naruto blocked. Barely countered instantly. Wind followed. The arena filled with pressure. Movement blurred. Techniques overlapped. Strategies shifted mid-combat. They weren't just fighting. They were adapting, learning, pushing each other. Naruto watched silently. Eyes narrowed. Good, but something inside him twisted. Not enough. The voice again. Naruto ignored it. Below, the battle escalated. Narumi shifted tactics. Controlled, efficient, forcing Naruto to burn energy. Naruto realized it. Too late. Damn it. Narumi pressed forward, relentless. Blades clashed again. Then both were disarmed. They separated, breathing heavy, exhausted, but still standing. Naruto smiled faintly. One last move. Narumi nodded. No words needed. They moved in sync, hand signs blurred, water style. Twin dragons surged into existence. Roaring toward each other, the collision shook the arena. Water exploded outward, drenching everything. Then Silence, both stood barely. Naruto spoke first. Guess we tied. Narumi tried to respond, but both collapsed at the same time. The proctor stepped forward. Double knockout. Stands aftermath. A quiet breath escaped Jiraiya. They've grown. Minato didn't answer. Kushina didn't move. Because both of them were thinking the same thing. And what about Naruto above them? Naruto stood still, unmoving, watching the arena, but not the fight, not anymore, because that voice had returned, clearer, closer. You're wasting time. Naruto's fingers twitched slightly, his smile faded, and for a brief moment, his eyes changed, not emotion, not anger, something else, something deeper, cliffhanger. The screen flickered again. And this time, Naruto didn't smirk because he could feel it. Whoever was about to face him was about to witness something no one in that arena was ready for. The air hadn't settled. It couldn't, because something heavier than victory hung over the arena. Disappointment. Up in the stands, Minato Namikaze remained silent. They didn't make it. His voice was low. Kushina Uzumaki placed a hand on his shoulder. They fought well. It wasn't denial, it was truth, still. It didn't ease him. Beside them, Jiraiya let out a slow breath. Experience matters more than winning right now. Minato nodded, but his gaze never left the arena because the next name had already appeared. Arena floor. Naruto Date versus Sasuke Uchiha versus Neji Hyuga. A ripple passed through the crowd, not excitement, tension, because everyone knew this wouldn't be normal. Sasuke Uchiha stepped forward first, confidence sharp. Neji Hyuga followed, calm, certain. Naruto dropped down last, loose, relaxed, but his eyes didn't match above. Hayashi Hyuga spoke quietly, watch closely. Beside him, Hanabi Hyuga nodded. Below, the tension cracked. You should surrender, Neji said coldly. Don't waste time, Sasuke added. Naruto sighed, you two done. Silence then. A flicker of irritation. Naruto stretched his neck slightly. Good, start already. The proctor gave the signal and Neji moved first, a blur. His palm struck again, precise, deadly. Naruto's body was driven back. Slamming into the wall, Neji exhaled, finished. He turned, but without it. The voice froze everything. Naruto stood, unharmed, dust falling from his shoulders. The crowd went silent, even Hayashi's expression shifted. Impossible. Neji's eyes widened, no one withstands. He didn't finish because Naruto vanished and reappeared. Right in front of him, a single punch, clean, brutal. Neji's body flew, crashing into the opposite wall before the shock could settle. Naruto turned. Sasuke was already moving, too slow. Naruto leaned forward and drove a kick backward. It connected. Sasuke was launched across the arena, silence heavy because the gap was undeniable. Naruto exhaled. This is boring. Neji staggered back up, Byakugan active, anger rising. He charged again. Faster, sharper. Naruto didn't counter. He dodged, effortlessly, then caught Neji's arm and threw him straight into Sasuke. Both crashed together. The crowd erupted. Some laughed, some stared. Naruto tilted his head. You done yet? Both stood furious. Sasuke's eyes shifted. Sharingan activated. Fire erupted. A massive flame surged toward Naruto. Naruto didn't move. He stepped forward and punched it. Wind spiraled around his fist, shredding the flames instantly. Shock rippled through the arena. Sasuke froze. Naruto appeared beneath him. Midair, an uppercut, then a kick toward Neji. The sequence flowed, seamless. Neji blocked. Barely, but he was pushed back again. Naruto landed, looked at them both. Come on. Neji's jaw tightened. Fate doesn't allow this. Naruto smiled faintly. Then your fate's wrong. He moved again. Neji spun, rotation. A dome of chakra exploded outward. Catching Naruto mid-charge, he was thrown back, crashing hard up above. Hayashi nodded slightly. This is the difference. But below, Naruto stood again, unbothered. Neji approached slowly. Any last words? Naruto looked at him, then smiled. Yeah, a beat too slow. The body behind Neji. Exploded smoke shock, Neji was thrown forward, slamming into the ground across the arena. Naruto leaned casually against the wall, explosive clone. Neji pushed himself up. Shaken, furious, you dare. He stopped because something changed, the air. Pressed down heavy, Naruto's eyes. Cold, empty, you talk too much. Before Neji could react, Naruto was already in front of him. No movement seen, just impact, his fingers struck. Lightning coating each point, precise, controlled, nerve strike. Neji's body locked, pain shot through his system, before. An uppercut launched him again. Naruto didn't stop, he spun. Wind erupted outward. A rotating dome of compressed force, wind dome. Neji was caught midair and slammed across the arena. The silence this time was absolute because what they had just seen was impossible, a Hyuga technique. Recreated, improved, twisted into something else, up above. Hayashi stood, eyes wide. What was that? Naruto didn't answer because he wasn't looking at Neji anymore. He was looking at Sasuke and smiling, but this time there was no humor in it. The silence after Neji's fall didn't last because fury always follows humiliation. Up in the stands, Hayashi Hyuga rose halfway from his seat. Veins bulging, how dare you? He didn't finish because 6 blades appeared in a blink. Steel screamed through the air and slammed into the wall beside him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th. Stopped just short of a place no man wished to test fate with. The message was clear. Naruto stood below, head slightly tilted, eyes empty, cold. I suggest you sit down. No anger, no shouting, just certainty. Hayashi froze because for a moment he didn't see a genin, he saw something else, something that didn't hesitate, slowly. He sat, arena floor. Neji tried to move, his body refused. Naruto didn't even look at him. As he flicked his wrist, paper tags scattered into the air, floating, spinning, then chakra surged through them, the atmosphere shifted, heavy, electric, sealing art. The tags ignited. Lightning crawling across their surfaces, reign of the lightning dragons. The world exploded. Bolts shaped like dragons descended, striking Neji's body in rapid succession. The scream echoed, then vanished when the smoke cleared. Neji Hyuga lay motionless, broken. The crowd didn't cheer, they didn't speak. They simply watched because this was no longer a match. Naruto stepped forward. Calm until a fist came from the side, fast, desperate. Naruto ducked, turned, and drove his fist into the attacker's stomach. Sasuke Uchiha coughed. Air leaving his lungs, Naruto's voice dropped. Almost forgot about you. A faint smile, but there was nothing human in it. Don't worry. His fingers sparked. I'll make this quick. Lightning erupted around his fists, lightning punch barrage. The first hit snapped Sasuke's head back, the second cracked ribs. The third dropped him to one knee, but it didn't stop, punch after punch. Each one faster, stronger, relentless. Sasuke couldn't block, couldn't react, he was being overwhelmed until Naruto drove one final strike, an uppercut. Sasuke's body lifted into the air. Naruto followed, grabbed his throat mid-flight, and slammed him down. The ground shattered, a crater formed, dust rose, and when it cleared, Sasuke lay there, broken, breathing. Barely, silence complete. Even the proctor hesitated, before finally stepping forward, checking both bodies, then raising his hand, winner. A pause. Naruto date. The aftermath. Naruto didn't react, didn't celebrate, he simply turned and walked, then jumped, landing in the stands, right in front of Hayashi. The blades were still there. He removed them one by one, slowly, deliberately, the final sword. He pressed just enough to remind, leaning slightly forward. His voice dropped to a whisper. You accuse me of stealing your clan's techniques. A pause, and I won't stop at warnings. His eyes didn't blink. I'll erase your clan so completely. Another pause. History won't remember it existed. Hayashi didn't respond. He couldn't, because for the first time. Hayashi Hyuga felt fear. He nodded, barely. Naruto pulled the blade away, turned, and dropped back into the arena. Final selection. The atmosphere shifted again, less fear, more tension. The board lit up, numbers assigned. Naruto didn't hesitate. 1. Across the room. Names followed. Shikamaru Nara, 5. Zaku Abumi, 9. Temari, 6. Gaara, 2. Kenzo, 3. Shinoburam, 4. Kinkuro, 7. Samuel, 8. Rado, 10. The bracket was set, and with it, the storm ahead. Hokage stand. Minato Namikaze stood in silence. He had watched everything, every movement, every word, and now he understood something terrifying. This wasn't rebellion, this wasn't anger, this was separation. Naruto wasn't drifting away anymore. He had already left. Beside him, Kushina remained still, but her hands trembled, and across the stands, Hayashi hadn't moved, his eyes locked on Naruto. Fear, real. Minato exhaled slowly. This is going to become a problem. Not just for their family, not just for Konoha, but for the entire shinobi world. Closing scene. Naruto stood alone in the arena, looking up at the sky, listening because the voice was still there, stronger now, closer, and this time it left.
Everything just changed. Naruto did not just win, he destroyed Neji and Sasuke like they were nothing. No hesitation, no mercy, even the clan heads were scared. And that was not the worst part. Because something inside him, Naruto is no longer quiet. It's growing, watching and laughing. Even his own father is starting to realize this is not just power anymore. It's something far beyond control. So now the real question is, when the final begins, will Naruto still be fighting his enemies, or will he become something the entire world has to fear? Stay with me because chapter 7 is very interesting break.
Chapter 7. The night after the preliminaries. Konoha felt different, not louder, not quieter, just heavier, like the village itself had sensed it. Something had changed, and at the center of it all was Naruto. He walked alone through the streets, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable, but his mind was anything but calm. Gaara. That name lingered, the boy with empty eyes, the one carrying something familiar. Naruto exhaled slowly. So, the first one is the sand freak. A faint smirk, but it's not him I'm worried about. His fingers twitched. It's what's inside him. For a brief moment, his vision flickered, sand, blood, a beast screaming, and then another voice. You're thinking too small. Naruto's steps paused. Just for a second. Shut up. Silence then. A low chuckle. You felt it, didn't you? Naruto clenched his jaw. I said shut up. The voice faded, but it didn't leave. It never did. Hot springs later that day. Steam rose into the air, warm, calm, deceptively peaceful. Naruto stepped inside. Towel around his waist, for once. He just wanted quiet, no fights, no expectations, no voices. He lowered himself into the water, letting the heat settle into his muscles. His eyes closed for a moment. Everything faded until a familiar sound broke it, a laugh, annoying, perverted. Naruto's eye twitched, slowly. He turned his head, and there he was, Jiraiya. Notebook in hand, grinning like an idiot, peeking again. Naruto stared, long, quiet, then a smirk formed, perfect. A flicker, and he vanished behind Jiraiya. In an instant. Hey. Too late. Naruto's voice echoed. Konoha's secret taijutsu. A pause. 1,000 years of pain. Lightning crackled, lightning version. Silence then. A scream. Jiraiya launched forward. Like a missile, straight into the opposite side. Water exploded upward, and for one brief second, everything froze until every kunoichi turned slowly, eyes locked on him. Jiraiya blinked once. A beat I can explain. He could not. Back to Naruto. Naruto leaned back into the water, completely relaxed again, a faint smirk on his lips. In the distance, Chaos erupted, shouting, splashing, threats. He didn't even look, just reached for his earphones and slipped them in. Music filled his ears, soft at first. Then, he started tapping his fingers against the stone, a rhythm unconscious, natural, and then he began to hum, low, calm but clear, across the wall. On the other side, the noise faded because one by one, they heard it, a voice. Naruto paused. Wait. Narumi tilted her head. That's. Samui blinked. A faint blush forming. No way. Even Anko stopped midrant, listening, Naruto unaware. Eyes closed, lost in the music. Whatever you do, I'll do it too. His voice carried, smooth, unexpectedly gentle, not the voice of a monster, not the voice of a killer, but something else entirely, something human. Show me everything and tell me how. The steam drifted and more people gathered, workers, shinobi, drawn in. Without realizing why, Naruto smiled faintly. He never used to sing like that. Narumi stayed quiet, but her eyes softened just a little. I wanna know, can you show me? Naruto's voice echoed through the springs, filling the space for a moment. Even the weight inside him went silent, listening, but deep inside. Something stirred, watching, learning, interesting. The voice returned, quieter, curious. So this is what you sound like. Naruto didn't hear it, didn't notice, didn't realize that even now, he wasn't alone. Naruto's voice faded. The last note lingered in the steam. Soft, almost fragile, then silence for a moment. The world felt still. Naruto opened his eyes slowly. A quiet exhale left his lips. He didn't understand why. But something inside his chest felt lighter. And deeper still. Something else stirred. So this is what you sound like when you forget me. Naruto's expression hardened instantly. I didn't forget. A pause. You did. The voice chuckled, low, amused, and that is dangerous. Naruto clicked his tongue. Shut up. The presence faded again. But not before leaving behind a feeling, curiosity, interest, hunger. Moments later, Naruto stood, water sliding down his body. Steam curling around him. He reached for his towel. Unbothered, unaware, because behind the wall, dozens of eyes were locked onto him, blushing, frozen. Naruto blinked. Since when does he look like that? Narumi didn't answer. She was staring at his back, at the mark, a blade pointing downward. Wrapped by two dragons, white and black, opposites. Meeting at the hilt. Samui swallowed slightly. That's. She didn't finish because for a second she felt something strange, not attraction, not fear, something in between. Naruto stepped out. The moment broke. Whispers started, soft at first, then spreading like wildfire. Outside, nightfall. Naruto walked alone again, hands in his pockets, mind racing. Gaara. Orochimaru. That voice. Too many variables, too many unknowns. Annoying. He stopped, a training ground, empty, perfect, without hesitation. His hands moved, seals formed, fast, precise, reverse summoning. The ground pulsed, space twisted, and Naruto vanished somewhere above the clouds. Wind howled, endless sky, a platform. Floating in nothingness, Naruto appeared, landing smoothly. He didn't speak, he didn't hesitate, because he already knew. He wasn't alone. A shadow moved, massive, circling, then a roar, deafening, ancient. The clouds split, and something descended, not fully visible, but its presence was overwhelming. So the voice shook the sky. You've come back. Naruto smirked. You talk too much. A pause, then a rumble, almost like laughter. Good. The creature lowered itself. Just enough, so tell me, whelp, are you ready to lose control? Naruto's grin widened, feral. I never had control. Lightning sparked, swords appeared in his hands. Let's go. They clashed and the sky screamed. Meanwhile, Konoha. The night wasn't quiet, not anymore, inside the Hokage residence. Tension filled the air. Minato Namikaze sat in silence, listening, processing the counsel, the accusations, and one name. Repeated over and over again, Naruto, across from him. Kushina Uzumaki paced, angry, they want a what? Minato sighed, they want him restrained. A pause, or worse. The room went cold, the door opened, Naruto, Narumi, Kenzo, and behind them Tsunade Shizyun, and a heavily bandaged. Jirgia Kushina's eyes narrowed, what happened to you? Naruto answered, and within seconds. The room exploded, Jirgia didn't even get time to react, minutes later. A crater, smoke rising, Jirgia twitching, worth it. It was later that night. Training plans were made, Kenzo driven, Narumi focused, Naruto determined, Minato smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Because one name was missing, where is he? No answer, only silence, elsewhere darkness. Steel clashed, lightning roared, Naruto moved faster than before, stronger, sharper, but something was off, his movements. Less precise, more instinctual, more violent, the creature noticed. Yes. Thitsit. Let it out. Naruto's eyes flickered, blue. Then, something else shut up. But the voice was louder now, inside him, not separate, not distant, we are getting closer. Naruto faltered just for a second, and that was enough. The creature struck, sending him crashing across the platform. Naruto skidded, blood dripping, breathing heavier. Heh. He laughed, low, unstable. This is getting fun. Back in Konoha, same night. Hayate ran, bleeding, gasping. Must report. Behind him. A presence watching, waiting. Kabuto smiled in the shadows, but before he could move. A blur, lightning split the night, and Naruto appeared, standing between them. You again. Kabuto's smile widened. Ah, Naruto-kun. But you're too late. Naruto didn't respond, he just moved. Fast, too fast, Kabuto barely reacted. Before Naruto grabbed his wrists and crushed them, a scream echoed, but then Naruto froze because something changed, his vision. Distorted, his heartbeat. Louder, his breath. Heavier, Kabuto looked up, and for the first time, he felt it, those eyes, not blue, black with a white slit, not human, not shinobi, something else, something ancient, something. Awake, Naruto spoke, but the voice wasn't entirely his. Run. Oh. Kabuto didn't hesitate, he vanished, but Naruto didn't chase, he just stood there, shaking, breathing, fighting. Naruto's room later. He stumbled inside, barely holding himself up, collapsed onto the bed. Damn. His hand trembled too early. His eyes slowly closed, but before sleep could take him. A knock, soft, unexpected, Naruto frowned. Who? The door opened and there she stood, Naruto Uzumaki. Smiling, gentle, different, Naruto raised an eyebrow. How did you know I was here? Naruto stepped inside, closed the door behind her. Slowly, then. She looked up and her smile didn't reach her eyes, I didn't. A pause, her voice dropped, it told me. Naruto's words lingered, it told me. Silence filled the room, Naruto didn't move, didn't blink. For a brief moment, something deep inside him smiled. See, I can reach further than you think. Naruto's jaw tightened. Stay out of this. Naruto tilted her head slightly. Still smiling, but something about it felt off, not wrong, just not entirely hers. Then it faded like a ripple disappearing in water, and suddenly she was just Naruto again, bright, warm, Ne-chan. Naruto exhaled slowly, nothing. Later that night, the room felt quieter than it had in years. Naruto sat on the bed. Looking around, you never changed it. Naruto leaned against the wall, didn't see a reason to. A pause, didn't have anyone to show it to anyway. Naruto flinched slightly, but didn't reply. Instead, she lay down, waiting, and after a moment, Naruto joined her. Two figures under one roof, closer than they'd been in years. Yet separated by something neither could name, as sleep slowly took them. Naruto's eyes flickered once more. Darkness, a pair of slitted eyes, watching. She's easier to reach than the others. Naruto's breathing slowed. Touch her. A whisper barely audible, and I'll erase you. The presence didn't respond, but it didn't leave either. Morning. Sunlight crept into the room. Naruto stirred, annoyed. Then, he felt it weight warm. He opened his eyes and froze. Naruto curled against his arm, peaceful, unaware for a moment. Naruto just stared, then he gently nudged her. Wake up. She stirred, blinking. Realization hit, and she shot up instantly. I'm going. Gone like it never happened. Naruto sat there for a second longer, silent, then, idiot. But there was no heat in it. Later, outside, Naruto walked through the village, thinking, analyzing Gaara or Chimaru, that thing inside him. Annoying. A familiar voice broke his thoughts. Naruto. He turned, and there stood Haku, alive, safe, different. A Konoha protector gleamed on the forehead. Naruto smirked slightly. Look at you. Haku smiled. I could say the same. They walked together through the market, through quiet streets, talking, simple things, normal things for once. Naruto wasn't thinking about power, or enemies, or the voice, and because of that, he didn't notice it, watching, learning. So this is what you value at the park. They sat, silence between them, comfortable. Haku glanced at him. You've changed. Naruto didn't look back. Everyone says that. They're right. A pause, but not in the way they think. Haku didn't press, just smiled softly, and when they parted, she watched him leave, a faint blush on her cheeks. Training grounds, evening. Naruto arrived late, deliberately. The others were already there. Kushina Uzumaki. Naruko Uzumaki. Narumi Shizune no Kenzo, figures. Naruko waved, bright, genuine, over here. Naruto walked forward, slow, measured. Kushina stepped up, trying, I'll train you today. Naruto didn't hesitate, no. The word landed heavier than expected. I'll pass on your style. A pause, but I'll spar you. Silence. Narumi blinked. Naruko froze. Kushina smiled. All right. Oh. The spar begins. Steel met steel, fast, explosive. Naruto didn't hold back, neither did she. Clash after clash. Step after step. Strike after strike. But something was different. Naruto's movements. Sharper, cleaner, more precise. He adapted instantly. Kushina noticed. He's reading me. Too fast, too easily. Then it ended. Two blades. At her throat, still silent, final. Kushina raised her hands. I yield. The girls stared, speechless. Naruto stepped back, calm. You're slower. Kushina flinched, weaker. Naruko's eyes widened. Narumi clenched her fists. Naruto turned, walking away, then paused. Next time. His voice dropped, colder. I won't hold back. And then he left. Nightfall. They continued training, trying to ignore it, trying to process it. But none of them noticed. The shadow watching from a distance. Naruto standing far beyond the field, eyes glowing faintly, unblinking, unmoving, listening to them, to himself, to it. You're separating yourself further. Naruto didn't respond. Good, a pause, because when the time comes. The voice deepened, darker. It will be easier to take everything. Naruto's eyes flickered for just a second. They weren't his anymore.
Something is changing inside Naruto, and this time it's not just power. After crushing everything in his path, after pushing even his own family away, the line between Naruto and something else is starting to disappear. The voice inside him, it's not longer just whispering, it's learning, watching, influencing, and now something ancient beneath Konoha has awakened. The question is no longer how strong Naruto will become, the real question is when that moment comes, will Naruto still be himself? Or will he become something the world can't survive?
Chapter 8. The day had finally arrived. Konoha was alive with noise, crowds flooding the arena, merchants shouting, children cheering. To the civilians, this was celebration, a festival of strength, pride, and spectacle. But beneath that excitement, something darker moved. The shinobi knew. They stood hidden among the crowds, on rooftops, in shadows, watching, waiting. Because today wasn't just the Chuunin exam finals. Today was the day everything could fall apart. high above the arena, the cage gathered. The fourth Raikage sat confidently, arms crossed, his presence radiating dominance. Beside him stood his guards, one scribbling notes, the other silently observing. Next to him, the so-called Kazekage, and finally, Minato Namikaze, the Hokage. But today he didn't feel like one. His eyes drifted downward, past the cheering crowd, past the eager genin. Until they stopped on Naruto, a flicker of guilt crossed his face. Training had failed, the distance hadn't closed, and now standing there, his son looked less like a shinobi of the leaf, and more like something walking away from it, on the field. Naruto stood alone, barely listening to the speech echoing across the arena. His mind wandered, training, fights, Haku, the strange attention from the village. And that voice, that thing, it had grown quieter lately. But not weaker, no, it was watching, learning, waiting. Naruto exhaled slowly. Whatever. His eyes shifted forward. Gaara was already staring at him. The first match begins. Gaara stepped forward, his voice empty but heavy. Prove it, Naruto. Date, prove my existence. Naruto cracked his neck slightly, eyes sharp. Don't care if it's you talking or that raccoon inside you. A grin spread across his face. Either way, this dragon's ready. The proctor dropped his hand. The match began. Gaara's sand surged instantly, rushing forward like a living wave. Naruto didn't move, not until the last second. Then he vanished upward, water-style wave surge. A violent stream of water crashed into the sand, then another, and another. The arena floor began to shift, sand turning heavy, sluggish, unstable. Gaara's eyes narrowed. Naruto's grin widened. Ever been to the beach, Gaara? A blur. A kick, Gaara's body slammed into the wall. Before he could recover, lightning, a crack of energy tore through the air, striking him directly. Naruto dropped from above. Boom, a punch drove Gaara into the ground, forming a crater beneath him. Shockwaves through the arena. In the stands. Silence, then whispers, then disbelief. Even Temari and Kankuro froze. This wasn't a fight, this was domination. Even Baki began to hesitate. Should they cancel? Cage box reaction. The Raikage leaned forward, impressed. Well, this is unexpected. Then casually. Tell me, Hokage, why is your son not using your name? Minato didn't answer because he couldn't. Back to the fight. Gaara rose slowly, then he started laughing, a deep, broken sound. Yes, this is it. His body began to shift. Sand reacting violently. The one tail stirring. Naruto's eyes sharpened. This ends now. He moved too fast to follow. His palm struck Gaara's chest, sealing style, soul barrier. For a moment. Nothing then. Gaara's body convulsed violently. Before collapsing, silence, then a loud, peaceful snore. Naruto blinked. You've gotta be kidding me. Even the proctor froze, then coughed awkwardly. Winner, Naruto. Aftermath, uneasy victory. Cheers erupted, but not from everyone. Temari stared at Gaara, not in fear, but relief for the first time. He was sleeping peacefully. Naruto returned to the competitor box, dropping into his seat between Samui and Reito Yukimura. Reito gave him a nod. Samui couldn't even speak properly. Naruto smirked slightly. So, wanna talk instead of watching that idiot? Reito nearly choked and quietly moved away. Kenzo's match begins. Down below. Kenzo stepped forward, arrogant, confident, power swirling in his hand. A familiar technique forming, the crowd gasped, the Rasengan. Up above, Kushina nodded proudly, but Naruto just leaned back. Counting 1, 2, 3. His eyes narrowed, 12 seconds. A quiet scoff, pathetic. The arena shook as the attack landed. Shino fell. Winner, Kenzo, but Naruto didn't clap, didn't react, didn't care, because something else. Far beneath the arena moved dark foreshadowing. Deep underground. Beneath stone. Beneath seals. Something ancient stirred, not the nine tails. Not Shukaku, something older, something aware, and for the first time in centuries. It felt something, Naruto, back above. Naruto's smile slowly faded, his eyes flickered. Black slitted just for a second, then gone, but the thing below had already awakened, cliffhanger. As the next match was called, a low, almost inaudible whisper echoed. Not in the arena, not in the village, but inside Naruto's mind. I found you. Naruto froze just for a moment, then slowly. He smiled, but this time it wasn't his. The whisper still lingered, not outside, not in the arena, but inside Naruto. I found you. For a split second, his world had gone silent. Then the noise returned, the crowd, the arena, reality. Naruto exhaled slowly, forcing that presence back into the shadows of his mind. For now, continuation of the finals. The matches continued almost as if nothing had changed. Almost. On the field, Shikamaru, Nara, and Temari faced off in a battle of intellect, traps, counters, strategy, until Shikamaru sighed and raised his hand. I quit. Competitor's box reaction. What the hell was that? Ino Yamanaka snapped, frustration clear. He had her right there. Naruto leaned back, arms crossed, unimpressed. What did you expect? He's a Nara. A slight smirk. They quit when things get troublesome. Ino fumed. Shikamaru just yawned. Cage box. The fourth Rakage chuckled. Interesting fight, even if it ended like that. The Kazekage nodded. They've proven themselves worthy. Oh. Minato said nothing, but his eyes never left Naruto. Next match, Samui versus Kankuro. The arena shifted again. Kankuro stepped forward, uneasy, across from him. Samui calm, focused, deadly, the moment the match began. She moved first, fast, a blade flashed toward his chest. Kankuro barely escaped, replacing himself with a log, then his puppet emerged, arms splitting, weapons extending, deadly. Samui reacted instantly. Lightning-style panther charge. A beast of lightning tore through the puppet. Explosion, smoke, then from the smoke, spears multiple, unpredictable, relentless, cage box, tension rising. The Rakage smirked, well-trained. But the Kazekage spoke calmly. Your Kunoichi has been poisoned. That smile faded, his eyes snapped back to the field. Field, final push. Samui's movement slowed, her breathing grew heavy, vision blurring, but her eyes sharpened. One last move, she charged straight at him, reckless, desperate. Kankuro smirked. Idiot. Then, lightning erupted, her entire body became a blur. She vanished, impact, a punch. Kankuro flew, then again and again, and again to the crowd. He wasn't fighting, he was being thrown, controlled, destroyed, final strike. A crushing blow drove him into the ground. Silence, winner, Samui. She collapsed immediately after, rising stakes. Even the cage acknowledged it, strength, willpower, survival, but the next match was different. Naruto versus Kenzo. The air changed, heavier, sharper, dangerous from the stands. Opinions clashed. Kenzo will win. No, Naruto's stronger. Oh, he's just lucky. But one voice cut through everything. Shikamaru, Nara, you're all blind if you didn't see what Naruto did earlier. A sudden interruption. Before the argument could escalate. A spear slammed down right in front of Sakura Haruno. Close, too close. Everyone turned. Raid Oyukamura stood there, eyes cold. Keep talking like that. A pause, and next time I won't miss. Silence followed, back to the arena. Kenzo stepped forward, confidence radiating. Naruto looked bored. Give up now, Kenzo sneered. Naruto sighed. Can we just start already? The match began, total domination. Kenzo attacked first, fast, direct, aggressive. Naruto moved. Barely a tilt, a step, a counter, impact, uppercut, slam, kick. Kenzo crashed into the wall, the crowd went silent. Again Kenzo attacked, again. Naruto avoided everything, effortlessly, each movement. Calculated, precise, humiliating. You're done yet, Naruto muttered. Kenzo roared. Chains erupted, Naruto flipped, landed on them, then vanished. Reappeared in front of him, another strike, another crash. This wasn't a fight, it was control, the breaking point. Kenzo panted, frustrated, enraged, then. Shadow clone chakra gathered, RASENGAN. Naruto stared, silent, then. 12 seconds. A shake of his head, pathetic. Revelation. The arena froze, Naruto raised his hand, a sphere formed instantly. A Rasengan perfect, effortless, gasps echoed, but then. It changed, two clones appeared without seals, without delay. Wind gathered, screaming, violent, unstable, the sphere expanded. Shifted, evolved, a shuriken, a Rasen shuriken, the sound alone. Made people cover their ears, cage box, shock. Minato stood up, eyes wide, impossible. Even he hadn't reached that stage, the Raikage narrowed his eyes, and deep within. Something ancient recognized it, field, final moment. Kenzo reacted desperately, wind style, dragon. A massive current surged forward. Naruto didn't flinch, his eyes. Flickered black slitted, gone, he pulled his arm back, then. He threw it, cliffhanger. The Rasen shuriken tore through the air. Reality itself seeming to distort around it. As the whisper returned, stronger, closer, clearer, yes, destroy him. And for the first time, Naruto didn't push it away, he smiled, the moment Naruto's arm moved. The world changed. Cage box. Minato Namikaze shot to his feet, he can throw it. Shock tore through the entire balcony. Even the fourth Raikage, a man who rarely showed surprise, had his eyes widened, because they all understood one thing, that technique was never meant to be thrown, competitor's box. The reaction echoed instantly, he can throw it. Genin stood frozen, Shikamaru Nara wide awake, Choji Akimichi chips forgotten, even Kakashi headache silent, and the Namikaze family. They didn't know whether to feel pride or fear field impact. The Rasen shuriken collided with the wind dragon for a split second. Balance then. Domination, the dragon shattered, the shuriken tore through it like paper. And continued forward, Kenzo barely reacted, KAWAMARI. A log took his place. And then, boom, a dome of screaming wind expanded outward. Precise, controlled, devastating when it faded. Only a crater remained, perfectly carved, clean, deadly. The crowd fell silent. Kenzo exhaled in relief. I made it. Lesson 2. His body froze, a voice behind him. Never take your eyes off your opponent. Impact, a kick drove him forward. Straight into Naruto, a punch. Air left his lungs, a throw. His body hit the ground, then. Chaos clones, strikes, throws, impacts, explosions. Kenzo wasn't fighting anymore. He was being dismantled. Final strike. A knee, a whisper. Boom. Explosion, dust swallowed the arena. The unexpected interruption. From within the smoke. Water surged outward. Naruto flipped back. Landing effortlessly, then. The dust cleared. And something stood there, a massive magenta toad, Gamabunta, Kenzo-san, are you alright? Kenzo barely raised a thumb. Fight. The toad charged, weapon raised. Naruto drew his blade. Steel met steel. Power met power. For a moment, they matched then. Naruto pushed back, a lightning-coated punch. Sent the massive summon flying. Silence. Naruto chuckled, not bad. His eyes narrowed, but that's it, isn't it? A step forward, you don't have enough chakra for anything bigger. Kenzo's eyes widened, Naruto smirked, and no sage mode either. Then, he bit his thumb, summoning jutsu. The ground shook, smoke exploded outward, and then. It appeared, the dragon descends. A massive, armored dragon emerged. Red, gold, silver, ancient, terrifying, Ryuki. The arena fell into complete silence, cage box, panic. The Raikage stood again, what is that? Minato shook his head, I don't know. But someone else did, deep within. A beast stirred, stay away from that boy. Even the tailed beasts felt it, competitor's box. The reaction was chaos, shock, fear, disbelief, even the loudest voices went quiet because instinct screamed one thing. That creature was not normal, field, absolute overpowering. Naruto jumped onto the dragon's back. Let's finish this. The dragon roared, the ground trembled, it charged, the toad tried to block. Failed, fire rained down. Explosions followed. And in the chaos, Naruto struck again. Kenzo couldn't keep up, couldn't react, couldn't fight back. Chains. Broken defense. Gone. Final moment. The sky darkened, the toad fell, crashing down, flattening everything beneath it, including Kenzo. Naruto watched, cold, unmoved. Ryuki spoke. Shall we end this? Naruto smirked, final attack. The dragon transformed, metal shifted, form changed, a bike. Naruto mounted it, they accelerated, fire rained, escape closed, then. Impact, the ground shattered, Kenzo and the toad were thrown apart. Both defeated, silence, then. The proctor raised his hand, winner Naruto. Aftermath. For a moment. Nothing then. The entire stadium erupted, cheers, shock, fear. Naruto stood there. Unshaken, he returned to the competitor's box. As he passed, Reito Yukimura met his eyes. No words, just a smirk, a promise. Finals, cage box. The Raikage exhaled. That boy. Minato said nothing because now he understood he didn't know his son anymore. Dark undercurrent. But far beneath the arena, something else stirred again, stronger, awake, watching, and this time it wasn't just observing, it was waiting. The air hadn't settled, not after what Naruto had just done, not after the dragon, not after the power that shouldn't exist, yet did, and now. The final match began, field the calm before destruction. Two figures stood across from each other, Temari calculating, Reito Yukimura bored, the silence stretched, heavy, oppressive, then. Begin. Temari versus Reito, the gap revealed. Temari moved first, her fan snapped open. A sweeping motion. A violent gust of wind tore across the arena. Reito didn't move, he simply sighed. A spear lifted, one slash. Fire answered, the flames cut through the wind like it didn't exist. Stronger, sharper, faster, Temari's eyes widened. She vanished, reappearing beside him. Wind scythe. Impact, the proctor leaned forward. About to end it. Then, a fist erupted from beneath the ground. Crack, Temari was launched into the air before she could recover. Reito was already there, a punch to the gut. She dropped spears, pinned her hands, a kunai hovered at her throat. Silence. I forfeit. Aftermath. The crowd didn't know how to react. Too fast, too clean, too overwhelming. Even the fourth Raikage laughed. That's Reito. But in the stands, one person didn't laugh, Minato Namikaze, because his eyes weren't on Reito, they were on Naruto. Competitors' box, a broken bond. Minato appeared in a flash, respect echoed around him, but he ignored it. He stepped toward Naruto, careful, hesitant. Congratulations, son. Naruto didn't look at him. Hello, Hokage-sama. That word cut deeper than any blade. Minato forced a smile. You're not nervous. I've already prepared. A pause. How did you complete the Rasengan? Naruto finally looked at him. Cold, unfamiliar. Figure it out yourself. Silence and don't ask about my summons. Another pause. Go back to your seat. Minato didn't argue for the first time. The yellow flash had no answer, and as he vanished, a realization settled in his chest. He hadn't lost his son in battle, he lost him. Long ago, final match, the real beginning. The arena buzzed. Excitement, fear, anticipation. Naruto stepped forward, Reito followed, the proctor raised his hand. Begin. Nothing happened, they just stood there. The crowd began to murmur. Then, Naruto spoke, how do you want this? Reito smirked fast. And then, Reito, the flame awakens. Fire erupted, his body vanished into it. Gasps filled the arena. Then, the flames reshaped, he stood there. Changed skin like molten rock, cracks glowing like lava, hair flickering like fire, eyes burning like it. Even the cage leaned forward. Naruto, the storm answers. Naruto smirked, not bad. His hand rose. To his face, the sky darkened, wind screamed, thunder roared, a bolt of lightning crashed down Narutoo. Kushina Uzumaki screamed, but it didn't harm him, it obeyed him. The lightning wrapped around his body. Absorbed, controlled, owned, when the light faded. He stood there. Changed hair white, eyes electric blue, skin cracked with energy. A living storm, the arena trembles. Two monsters stood face to face. Fire, lightning, even the air couldn't decide which to follow. Rado grinned, now this is a fight. Naruto rolled his neck, 6 blades drawn. I was born ready. The clash. They vanished, reappeared. At the center, weapons met, spears, blades, for a split second. Balance then. Below. The explosion tore through the arena, cracking the ground, shattering the air, forcing even the cage to shield their eyes, and beneath it all, something deeper stirred, not watching anymore, not waiting.
The arena did not just witness a fight, it witnessed the birth of something terrifying. Naruto no longer holding back, Raito pushing beyond human limits. Fire and lightning collided, and for a moment he felt like the world itself might break. But the real danger was not what she saw, it was what responded. Something ancient, something buried beneath Konoha just woke up, and now the question is not who wins the fight. The question is what happens when Naruto stops fighting it and lets it take over. Are we both about to witness the rise of a hero or the beginning of a catastrophe? That's all for now. If you enjoy this what if, then please like, share, and comment for part 2. Bye bye.